Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live.
And we are back.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm Wes. This guy is David. And we're the Underdog Journey. I forgot where I was here for a second. It is one of those days.
And
David,
we're local at the wait a minute, we're not local. We're back in our dungeons.
David, how you been?
Living the dream, son. Living the dream. How was your week?
Busy. That's all I can say. That's literally all I can say.
Every man who's watching this and most of the women understood exactly what just happened. How was your week? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So look, there's a lot of stuff going on.
I've made a mistake. Penny!
Uh-oh.
I've made a terrible, terrible mistake.
What'd you do?
I left my ice cubes out of my reach.
Oh man, yeah, you can't have that.
Can't have my ice cubes.
It's amateur hour.
Yeah.
Well, while you're bringing your ice cubes, what do you got to drink?
We'll walk through them here. So I took some, just reach in real quick and grab, my normal stuff. I've got a little bit of Blanton.
I like it. You can't go wrong there.
And we are back.
Were we? What are you talking about?
We're back, possibly.
We didn't fall offline. We're still online.
Let's see here. Speaker, microphone.
Can you not hear me?
Hear me, West.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You can hear me.
Yes. Can you not hear me?
Nothing.
We're live right now, having this conversation.
I see you working.
David, blink once if you can hear me.
I don't know, just fucking died.
David can't hear me. David, log off and then log back on again. David, I'm going to text you. Log off and then log back on again.
There we
go. Here, hold on.
What the hell is going on?
Here, I'm going to call you while we're streaming. This is the state of the show today.
I don't know why you're doing it.
Answer your phone.
Oh,
Answer your phone.
Yeah, what's up?
David, can you not hear me?
No, I've got nothing. It went flat dead on this end.
All right, I can hear you. And your audio is coming through on eCam. Do you want to log off of Skype and then log back on again?
Oh, no, here we go. I got it back. We're good.
This might be the weirdest way we've started a show yet.
Well, we're really putting a challenge to it. As well as I do, the USB micro ports that they have on this generation, literally like 6 months later to a year later, after we bought these mics, they came up with the USB-Cs. Yes. The USB-Cs fit just so much more stable. So as you can see, I've got these things strapped in and wrapped up with cable wraps and everything to kind of keep them but if you hit it with your hand like an idiot, like I just did,
oh man, yeah, they come out
off.
They come out for like no reason at all.
Yeah,
it's the
worst.
worst.
The wind blows too much outside, it'll take it out. But when it transfers audio, it auto mutes my computer.
Oh, okay.
So all of that time I'm sitting here trying to everything's sitting. I can see all the measure. Everything's back on. The mic's back on. It's using the mic. What the hell's going on? And then lo and behold, here's a little orange light up on my keyboard here. I'm like, what is that orange light? And I hit it. So it came back. So anyway, before we were so rudely interrupted by my hand hitting this cable, I'm not going to use this hand now. I've got a little bit of lanterns left.
There you go. You can kill that tonight.
So that's good. I've got a little bit of, a little bit. I'm not killing that one. A little bit of E.H. Taylor.
Okay. Because
I really like E.H. Taylor. That it is climbing up the ranks to me.
E.H. Taylor, it's a good one. Yeah, you can't underrate E.H. Taylor. Come on, you got to give that a good rating. It's a good one.
Yeah. And then this is the one I'll probably end up drinking the most because this is like a number 1 or 2 bourbon for me.
That's always a good choice.
It's a daily drink.
Yeah.
Weller, the Special Reserve. It's got a twist off top on it. But damn, is it just a delicious whiskey. It is tasty. So delicious.
Yeah. The flavor profile of all that might be one of my favorites. It's good.
I like the wheated bourbons. The wheated bourbons are delicious.
The wheated, yes.
The wheated. I say cool wheat. So yeah. So that's what I've got on par here. If I could have somebody, Nikki, if you're watching, come here and bring me my ice cubes. They're just out of reach.
Well, I think she's watching.
So
Keith Edwards just joined. Hey, Keith. Jenny Kelson's watching. Hey, Jenny. How you doing?
Oh, hey. Haven't seen her in a while?
Yeah, it's been a while. So since I live in Central Ohio...
Keith, I think I might see tomorrow doing some smoking a cigar or two.
Oh, there you go. You guys go to the same cigar lounge?
Yeah. Oh, there she is. Oh, she is watching. Sweet. It's there. Okay, you guys are gonna get to see my hot wife in the background.
Just out of reach.
And and she's gonna have to carry the crazy dog because there's so much stuff going on in here right now. If he comes through, it's all over.
Yeah. Hey, there's the dog. Whoa, the dog's gotten big since the last time I saw him.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass. It's an absolute pain in the ass. Oh, there's my ice cubes. Oh no, my ice cubes.
Keith says, "Howdy, gents." Hey, Keith, how you doing,
Howdy.
Man? We still need to arrange a show from Keith's esports arena.
Yeah, we
do. Esports studio. Keith, you call it an arena or a studio, or what do you call it?
It's the arena.
It's the arena. That's pretty cool. That makes it sound way cooler.
So, Keith, I'll let you pick. What? Oh, maybe he may have a late night tomorrow. Then come over earlier in the day and smoke one with me in my garage for a while.
Can't go wrong.
So I took what? So I have my dual monitors. I have the 32-inch curved screens up here is what I usually work with. It's starting to get warmer up here. Finally, I had to mow the grass for the first time this past week. So it's finally getting warmer, and I took one of the monitors out, put it on my table out in my garage.
Okay.
And so I could sit there and smoke cigars while I'm working. So it's nice.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. That is awesome.
So what should I kick off with over here, man? What should I kick off with?
I think you got to kill that Blanton's. It's getting pretty low. You got to drink it before it goes bad. That's the thing.
Well, but here, there are some people that'll come over and be like, "Oh, dude, you got Blanton's. Have a pour of it."
Well, that's true.
They can get a couple decent pours out of that.
All right, we'll go with the green label. You were talking up the green label. Why not?
I know. I just love the green label. I knew that's where I was going to go the whole time. So he's settled in with a Tatuaje cigar and the Baker's 107. Now, I don't know if you've never had that. I don't know if you've never had. Sorry, my West Virginian slipped out there.
The Tatuaje.
I don't know if you've ever had the Baker's 107, but that is a whiskey that you have to try. It is absolutely delicious.
Good to know. Well, David, as you know, I live in Central Ohio, so our general whiskey selection here is terrible. It's just
funny. I go over there to buy a lot of my whiskey.
You what?
I go over there to get a lot of whiskey.
You buy it all up there at your secret shop you don't tell anybody about. What are you talking about?
I do have a little.
Every place I go down here has nothing. Like the best, literally the best I can find is Tin Cup.
Man, Tin Cup though.
Columbus sucks for whiskey. It just does.
Yeah, I just is that what you're drinking, Tin Cup?
Yeah, I had to get a new bottle. It's just a good go-to. It's accessible, both figuratively and literally, if I can speak.
I'm gonna have it change, and I think that goes for around what, $50 a bottle?
Yeah, around there.
I'm gonna save you $10, and I want you to buy a bottle of Travelers.
Okay, I know Travelers. Yeah.
Travelers. It's $39.99 almost everywhere you go. It's $40 bottle of bourbon, and there for a while, Jiminy Christmas, on Friday nights when we be at our lounge at the Cigar Club, there might be 2 bottles of that on the table, and we would just kill it. We would kill them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not just 2 people. I mean, there's a lot of people that show up there. But I mean, we have anywhere from, 4 to 10 bottles of whiskey out on the table any given night.
Right.
But Travelers. It's
good to know.
The Titties and Whiskey song. Tennessee Whiskey, not Titties and Whiskey.
I was going to say, you got to sing this song for me.
Song.
I don't think I know I don't know that song.
No, it's Tennessee Whiskey. Chris Stapleton. I had to come up with the name because I'm not down with these newfangled singers. Yeah, Booker's Uncut. Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
That's always good. I've had that. Yes.
I mean, my heartburn just flared up just putting that on the screen. Because damn.
Yeah, that's a tasty one. That's a sipping whiskey is what that is.
That's a good full flavored bourbon. Booker's across the board is good.
It's true.
They bring a ton of flavor and a lot for you to enjoy as well.
Yeah, totally. So no, I need to find the secret locations where you claim to buy all of your whiskey in Ohio, though, because I don't believe.
Well, you have to leave your house.
See, that's the problem. I don't like that part. That's not cool.
That's the part that gets you, huh?
Yeah, that's the part. That's the real downside to most of life.
Yeah, Nikki's a lot like that. He's like, yeah, there's people out there.
Have you met most people?
It's 2 people. Oh. So I was where was I? Was I in Ohio? I think it was last week, maybe, when I was over in Ohio.
Yeah, you were at Hofbrau last week.
Yeah. And on the way back, I mean, she was just not having a good day. And she's like, she got on the phone with me. She's like, people are stupid. I'm like, welcome to the club. like people are idiots. The people, yeah. Welcome to the dark side. The hate flow through you.
Exactly.
Got a moment there. I was a little proud of her, actually.
Pictured Nikki going to rant about bad customer service. You guys could really have a conversation there.
Oh, we just end up breaking stuff. Go to one of those rage rooms.
Yeah, the rage rooms where you
actually break shit.
That's awesome. I want to try one of those. We need to do a show from one of those rooms. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or just like when we drink, we can just smash the glass on the ground and just randomly break stuff throughout the show.
What's the name of that song, Limp Bizkit? Is it break stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those days, I guess.
We can all relate. Sometimes you just feel like Fred Durst.
Yes. Yeah.
I have some jokes I shouldn't tell online after saying that, but I won't go there. We're going to try and behave a little bit. This is an upscale show now is what this is.
Upscale show. I notice you're not wearing your jacket.
Well, it's over there. I should get a monocle. I could wear my glasses. That'll make me look fancier.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't even know where mine are.
There we go.
Oh, yes. You remind me of Mr. Peabody.
I look professional. My face is a little crooked, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm definitely asymmetrical. Just turn
your head straight up.
Yeah, the problem is if I don't wear them for a couple days and I put them on, it's like everything's all messed up. And if I do wear them for a couple days and I take them off, everything's messed up. I gotta choose a lane. I gotta pick a lane.
Yeah. I mean, I don't wear mine as much as I should. Mine are specifically for reading, though, because if you take a book and hold it across the room, I can read it to you. But if I'm holding it, now we're starting to have problems. I'm getting old.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us, man. By the way, Keith says he'd love to make a Columbus trip to Hofbrau House. So for the 5-year anniversary, Keith, you got to come to town, man. We're gonna make this happen.
That's gonna be the last week in July, and you and I got to start doing some work on that.
We have a lot of work to do on that.
2 of us have to do.
We have a lot of work to do. So what we need to do is, we're gonna dress in full costume because it's gonna be wizard themed, and we need to go into La Chavetta afterwards dressed as wizards.
Oh yes, but to be honest, if I walked there dressed as a wizard, I'm not even sure they would notice.
They're just like, that's
They just be like, it's
that's
Dave from
Dave.
New York. It's
Yep,
Dave from New York. He's just, yep, that's what he
it's New York
does.
guys. That explains a lot.
He's in here with ratted jeans and a t-shirt one night, suit and tie the next. He comes in wizard robes. I mean, what's the matter?
Nobody's gonna look twice, and they'll still try and sell you the $150 cigar.
I almost bought it. But I was trying to behave this time.
For a minute, I thought you were gonna buy the box.
Yeah. Well, I thought about that too. But I just bought another box of blackened M81s, and if I'm going to get pricey cigars, I think kind of $40 is where $40 to $45 is kind of my cap.
Right. I'm
I
with
mean,
you.
I've had the 150, the 180, and the 200 and some dollar cigars, but to be honest, it's just me. I don't have the palate yet for that. Maybe one of these days I'll do it. But to me, the Vincente blends from if I'm going to spend extra money to buy good quality that I can recognize,
right?
Vincente blends is just like, it's the best I can come up with.
Well, I'm going to send you some money, and next time you come to Columbus, you got to bring some of those, because I don't think you can buy them around here.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't find them in Columbus either.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'll talk to. I've got a trip down to Puerto Rico, in I think June, and then I'm gonna skip over to the DR.
The DR,
because
as they say.
Yeah, the DR. Well, I have to try to start learning the vernacular because that's what they all say. Into the DR, and that's where he is. So I'm going to set a meeting with him and talk to him about it.
That'd be awesome.
And,
yeah, that'd be cool.
So I mean, I can bring those cigars back, so I can.
You know what you should do while you're in the DR? Here's what you do. We do a show remote. You interview him from the Dominican Republic.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I think that sounds amazing, dude. If you were like in his factory or something, interviewing this guy about the business of cigars.
Yeah.
Tell me that would be cool.
I'll do it.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll reach out to him. I got his number.
Let's pick a date. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, but he probably makes this the hands down the damn best cigars I've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, the ease of smoking, and he was sitting there explaining it to me before I really got to know him, and he was there talking about, you're smoking a cigar and you're trying to draw on it and it's so tight, it's packed, and you got to hollow it out. And you got to do all this work. It's like it's work. I don't want to work while I'm smoking a cigar, man. That's part of the relaxation of it. And then when you take a draw off of one of his cigars, and you're like, oh, that didn't go anywhere because it's so light. And then you blow it out of your mouth there, and it's just like, oh my God, there was like a lot. And then you get all the flavors and every stuff too. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. So he said something had started to pour rain here. Let me in. I'm in. I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm guessing Keith had a couple drinks already, so he might have been outside having drinks and got locked out, and he was hoping somebody was watching who could let him in the house.
Possibly.
Look, we've all been there, Keith. It's okay. We've all been there.
Yep.
So
no, he's got one of those hardtop gazebos out back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
I wouldn't move from there right now.
Pretty good.
We didn't do the show we did the one. So I have I used to. The snow this year took my gazebo out. So
yeah,
I've got to tear it all down and ship it off to the dump this weekend.
Oh man, the snow destroyed it, broke it.
Oh yeah, it's completely destroyed. The top's already there. Take the top down, and we got to disassemble it and unbolt it from the deck, and get the whole thing out of here.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah, it's just what you live. I mean, at one point we had 5.5 feet of snow out there. So
yeah, put Noah to work.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Make that kid earn his way. All right. Oh, see, he says no. He wants in the discussion. So yeah. So
I went in the discussion. Okay.
Let's see.
He just froze on me.
And then Nikki said 4 feet of snow can definitely do some damage. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's the amount of snow that you guys get is insane. I will never ever live where you guys live. Ever.
It's not so bad.
It sounds like a Siberian hell to me. It sounds no. I'm not in.
I mean, we were down for a couple, maybe a day and a half. I mean, literally it dropped 4 foot. Yeah. So I came back from the lounge I got home at like 11:30. I went to the lounge. I went to my normal little watering hole down the street. So I got home at around 11:15, 11:30.
Yeah.
And there was nothing. There was not even flakes yet. And the next day, Noah wakes up, Nikki going, he's stuck in the driveway. I'm like, oh, we got some snow. It's like, just throw some. We got some ice melt. Throw some ice melt on it and go.
In
And
the
now
driveway.
I'm just thinking that it's we get 6-8 inches of snow. We don't bat an eye up here. I'm thinking it's maybe a few inches of snow. Just throw some salt and ice melt underneath of it. Grab you some traction, and off the road you go. So I went back to sleep, and so she went there and helped him. And instead of coming in and getting me, they stayed out there. It was like an hour and a half, trying to dig him out.
Yeah, he was literally stuck in the driveway. Like,
yeah. So she comes back in. She's like, "You could have helped." I'm like, what are you talking about? And I looked outside, and I was like, "Oh my God,
that's hilarious."
Yes, I should have gotten my butt up, but I didn't think I needed to give him a cup of ice melt and throw it under his tire.
Yeah, they had to fight off a polar bear. I mean, it was bad. They had to,
Yes.
eat a couple penguins just to survive the afternoon. Oh, God
Excuse
bless
me.
you.
Oh, the penguins, the penwings.
I saw that interview.
That was
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch.
That was good. That was. We should find that video. I actually did see that. So those who don't know,
it's hilarious.
Describe the whole story for those who don't know.
So he narrated a nature documentary, and let's just say the word. Now I'm trying to remember what the actual word is. Penguin. The word penguin. The word penguin must have gotten away with him, just like it did me right there. And it was penwings.
He kept changing between penguins and panglings.
Like
through the whole thing, and like nobody corrected him. The
whole thing went through. So they were doing an interview. He was at one of these talk shows that they do, and he's doing an interview, and he got some viewer requests, and he says, have Benedict say the word penguin. Here, I have a problem saying penguin.
You can't say it now either.
Yeah. Hey, David, what's up, bud?
So
I want to listen to him. I love it. We always say that. Then we all get real quiet and wait for him to respond, like we're going to hear him.
He's ignoring you now. And
it's going to be 35 seconds before we see what his response is. So,
but he did say sup. So anyway, Benedict Cumberbatch couldn't say penguin. He kept saying pangling or penguin, and through like the whole documentary, and like nobody corrected him. So it's pretty funny.
The most unsuspecting thing. Penguins. Penguins on this tropical island. And emperor penguins at that. Great. It is great. Like, I want to go get that nature documentary just so I can watch.
I'll bet it's all over YouTube. I'll bet it'd be easy to find.
And just do a drinking game to it.
Also, Dave Rowland, Keith Edwards says he misses you. So he wants to give you a nice hug. It's
We're
nice.
all missing Dave. Dave's down in Florida.
I didn't know
He's
that.
not here, man.
Did he move permanently? Is he a snowbird? What's the
deal?
He'll
be back here. I believe Sunday is the word that I'm hearing on the street.
He says Saturday. He's coming back Saturday. That's the official
Saturday, even better.
Dave Rowland word there.
Return to New York with David Rowland.
Wait, escape from New York. People are insane. No, thank you. So, David, are you ready for some news?
We got news. Let's get on to some news.
All right. Let's see if we can get it going here. There we go.
A philosopher stone, you mean?
So, I thought this was good because, let's see, a philosopher, because of course they're modern day philosophers. Basically, it just means somebody who's born into money and has nothing better to do with their time. A philosopher released an acclaimed book about digital manipulation. The author ended up being AI. So basically, this guy who calls himself a philosopher had AI write a book. He released it. And the book actually had really good reviews. People loved this book. They said it was game-changing on a lot of things. And it turns out it was all just a social experiment from this philosopher. A lot of air quotes from this one.
A philosopher, like Chinese scientist.
Ouch! So much for keeping it highbrow, David. All right.
Yeah, yeah. I don't pull punches when it comes to made up shit, man.
Well, you're gonna love the name of the book that he released about his social experiment. By the way, the name of the book is Hypocrisy: Trump, Musk, and the New Architecture of Reality. So,
Sure.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I thought
The
this
author ended up being AI.
I thought this is interesting only because it goes to show like you can have AI do pretty much anything, and as long as you don't own up to it, AI is so good most of the time you can't tell, unless it's a an online article, usually in Wired magazine. Um,
To be honest, did anybody ever have a doubt?
that most blogs are written by
Most
AI. No,
blogs, newspaper articles, most of this stuff is all being generated by AI. And to be honest, it's doing just as good a job as these so-called journalists do as well. I mean, come on.
Well, journalist is about as realistic as this guy being a philosopher.
A philosopher.
A modern day philosopher. Again,
I feel
the
like,
only
I feel
way.
like the guy has to own a smoking jacket in order to be called a philosopher.
I really want a good smoking jacket. I think that'd be cool.
I do too. I said that, but I really do want.
Yeah, you can't say stuff like that if it's something you actually want to do.
Yeah, I do. Hey, I would make just as much fun of myself, but I would own it. Like,
you know what?
hey,
I'm going to put that
new smoking jacket. You're absolutely right.
I'm officially
through my monocle.
I'm officially going to update my my resume and my LinkedIn to have philosopher on there. If this guy can do it, I can do it. Prove I can't. I got lots of philosophies. Most people don't like most of them, but I got lots of philosophies.
Yeah. Oh, what's that?
All right, moving on.
Line out of The Mask of Zorro. It's like, are you a man with a vision? I'm a man in search of a vision.
Literally the only person I've ever heard quote The Mask of Zorro. Jeez, David.
I can quote a lot of movies.
You watch way too much TV.
Burn. There's a movie called Burn. It's about it's a kitchen. The guy who plays
Did it catch on fire?
Well, no.
Oh.
Because if it did, I mean, the fire protection would have put it out because it's properly done.
It's called Burn. But it's called Burn.
But no.
Okay.
But I watched it twice, 2 days back to back this week. Love that. If I quit my job and go work in a kitchen in a heartbeat.
To be a chef?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But I'd change it where they're all like, "Yes, chef." I'm like, "No, you got to say F you, chef," every time.
Who are you, Gordon Ramsay?
There we go.
That's pretty funny.
Yes.
I would eat at your restaurant. I would. You know what? You're such a perfectionist. I have to believe your food would be pretty good. I have to believe it.
Oh man, I made steaks last Sunday. Some filet mignons. Oh,
I've heard stories. I've never been lucky enough to enjoy it, but I've heard stories.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, next.
Keith's been up here. We did the big tomahawk steaks with Keith.
Yeah, that's right. I heard.
That was good.
The next news item, though, you're gonna like this. So, David, I know you for a while you were really not a big fan of using Gmail. Well, most people who use Gmail also have store photos on their
Google Drive,
G Drive, the Google Drive account.
Your G Drive.
The G Drive.
The G Drive.
Well, Google is starting to scan all of your photos. 3 billion users, if they actually have 3 actual billion users, must now decide what to do. So essentially, Google has decided they're going to use everybody's photos on their Google Drive accounts to train their AI models. So if you have proprietary information, private photos that maybe your wife doesn't want you sharing, you might want to decide.
The only thing that's in my Google Drive is just a bunch of wing pics. They can have them all they want.
You know, that would be hilarious if you literally just had a Google Drive account just to save pictures of dicks to mess with their algorithm.
I said wang, man. So
Asian guys?
I'll tell. So I'll do that occasionally. Hey, you up for a random wang pic? And I'll just Google a wang, get a random Asian person and send that picture over, and it'll have his name, like Stephen Wang.
That's pretty funny.
Unsolicited wang pic.
What is it? Is it the Taiwanese currency? Is it Taiwanese? Is the dong? Send him some dongs.
Oh yeah. Big fat wad of dongs.
Oh man! Again, so much for keeping the show highbrow today.
Yeah.
But look,
I laugh when we talk about loonies and toonies, and they're just right up the street from me. But
well, that's your own fault, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like it. I like most of the people I deal with. Actually, I've never had a
They
bad
just had their
experience in
election,
Canada.
so prepare for things to get more loony and more toony.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about politics on the show, so I won't.
We'll
I won't go there.
Yeah. We'll not go there. We'll not go there. I don't think
No, we'll just talk about wangs some more.
wangs and dongs.
So if you do have a Google Drive account, you might want to debate if you want to keep your photos on there. Might be time for an external hard drive. That's all I'm saying. Might be time for an external hard drive.
It's time to have a friend who that's a business I could be in. Just literally cloud storage.
Ooh.
Done. Private.
That's a private cloud storage. There's a market there. Guaranteed private cloud storage. I like it.
And email. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but it's really easy to set up your own email.
Oh, an email server.
Your own
exactly.
Email server.
An email server is super easy to set up. I mean, there are online tutorials about how to set them up on a Raspberry Pi. Yeah. It's super easy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could run a dedicated email and cloud storage here. I found another computer,
Dave Mail,
that I could use.
Who would sign up? Who else would sign up for Dave Mail?
Yeah.
West at DaveMail.com.
You've got Dave. The old AOL thing. You've got Dave.
It would have to be your voice saying it, though. Yeah.
Mail, motherfucker. There's that Road Trip, by the way. That's a quote directly from Road Trip.
I think I have to go back and rewatch.
Oh no!
It's been a while.
So Nikki's going. Oh no! AI is going to steal my 10,000 pictures of Cinderella's castle.
Yep, Nikki. Google's going to use them all to train its AI. So.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sure some people have some pretty shady stuff on their Google Drives. I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just saying it happens. So.
So I don't keep anything on my Google. I don't put anything on the Google Drive.
No, and you shouldn't.
The only time I did was when I booted up my phone and it started wanting to automatically do it. I'm like, dude, I got OneDrive, man.
Right.
Leave it alone, Google.
And honestly, I got to tell you, I'm actually surprised it's taken them this long to do it because, since the beginning of Gmail, everybody has known Google scans all of your emails, not to sell you, not to steal your information, but just to train their algorithms. Like, it's just common knowledge that happens. So, I mean, really, I'm surprised it's taken them this long, frankly. Maybe they've been doing it all along, but they realize people are catching on. So, like, hey, everybody, we're going to start doing this. We promise we haven't done it before.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like iRobot. When you winked at the other human, what did that signify? Wink. You'll never know.
Oh man! All right. So on that same note, now that we're pissing off AI, once it's going to get there, all right, get some lag. Hang on, I switched news articles, but it's really laggy. Maybe our next solution will be a little faster than Skype. All right, so nine subtle ways that your phone subtle. It says subtle.
I love it.
Look, when it's written out, you have to pronounce the B. That's subtle. A lie. You don't have to.
Have you ever seen that dry comedian? He's from like Finland or something like that. Some Scandinavian country over there. And he's like, it's very subtle.
No, I haven't seen it.
Subtle. He's like, and your eyes are wildly in debit. There's a B, right? There's a B.
You have to pronounce the B.
Yeah, you pronounce it. It's very subtle.
It's a subtle B, but you have to pronounce it.
It's a subtle.
9 subtle ways, not subtle, subtle ways your phone listens to you that tech companies won't admit to. So, we've actually talked a lot about this, about the fact that phone companies constantly tell you the phone's not listening to you, but we all know that it is, right? Like, they're always saying, that's not how it works, that's not how it works. And we're like, then explain to me what's happening. The algorithm cannot possibly be that good. So you want to see the 9 subtle ways that it claims to...
Let's take a look at the 9. So here's a risk.
Let's listen to you.
For everybody listening and watching, and for those of you around the world, sometimes we get on things that are 9 in their lists. Sometimes that kind of takes over the show.
Oh, well, we can skip this. We can save this for another time.
Great content. They get great content from them. So, all right, let's see the 9 subtle ways your phone listens to you, but the tech companies won't admit.
So we can save this for another time, David, if you think it's going to take over the show.
Oh, no, let's go. Let's bring it.
All right, here it is.
Keith, what is STC?
No one knows.
He says, Dave, come to STC with me and hang for opening night for music. I don't know what that is.
STC. No idea. All right, so number one
Maybe
is
Sonic Temple. I don't know.
The always-on wake word buffer. Ah, okay. So every modern phone ships with a low-power chip that does nothing all day except monitor for the sounds of a wake-up phrase. Hey Siri, okay Google. The manufacturer swears these are a few-second audio loops that stay local, yet the hardware is still continuously sampling everything you say, so it can spot the trigger word instantly. We're not going to read the whole thing about why it matters, but basically it's always listening. And even though they claim these audio clips are constantly erased and written over, prove that the phone company...
Been busted. They have also been busted having humans listen to these clips to help train their algorithm.
That's also later down in the article too. So
okay.
That's another one.
Seen the article, guys.
That's another one. But yeah, so it's always on. It is always listening, even though they claim it's only to listen for Hey Siri or Okay Google. It's always listening. In fact, these companies have gotten in trouble multiple times for exactly what David said.
Hey Siri, subscribe to the Underdog Journey.
She's actually listening right now.
Just trying to help us out.
And in fact, I turned off Siri's wake up word, and she still listens. I
like it when we're sitting in the living room or whatnot, and the kitchen Alexa just starts like, "Oh, I didn't get that." Like,
yeah, ours does too. Ours does it all the time.
What do you want us to breathe? I keep one in the kitchen, and there's one that I use as my alarm clock and controls the light in the bedroom, because Nikki likes to fall asleep with that damn light on, and I'm able to say, "Hey, Alexa, turn off Nikki's nightstand." And it'll
David,
light off. I don't have to get up.
David, don't lie. Tell everybody what you actually say to get it to turn off the nightstand.
So you guys can go back and watch all 251 episodes now, or 252 episodes now of the Underdog Journey to discover that. But I'm not doing that again. So the other day, I did try to say, Alexa, turn off my beautiful wife's nightstand.
There you go.
It's like, did you mean Nikki's nightstand? I'm like, yeah. But when I was like, hey, turn off the crazy bitch's nightstand, it was like, I got this for you, bro. He turned it right off.
That's so back, the algorithm obviously knows, it knows a lot more than you think it does. So anyway, by the way, Keith says it stands for Stunt Technology Conference, which that sounds pretty cool. I want to learn more about stunt technology.
I think he means SUNY.
Oh, I misread that. It's not stunt. I put a T in there, and it says sunt. Sunt Technology Conference.
At which point, I believe it stands for SUNY, which is State University of New York.
Got it. I shouldn't have put the T in there, but Stunt Technology Conference would be super cool. I would totally go to that.
Yeah.
It's just dudes doing parkour.
You should go to NFPA in Vegas in June.
Yeah, I'll just drop everything and just go to Vegas. Most people can do that.
I'm going to.
David.
Then I got to skip up to Reno.
Yeah, most people are able to do that just on the fly. It's a tough life.
It's the first freaking day of May. Not on the fly.
Yeah, you just drop everything. Just drop everything. Go to Vegas. It's fine. It's I get it. Anyway, so number two is
you're going to need to do these things.
False activations funnel chatter to the cloud. Those same always on chips misfire more often than you'd guess. Google admits assistant can trigger by the noise of a sound. Hey Google, sending unexpected voice clips to the server. Apple's 2019 Siri scandal. Here you go. Revealed that accidental activations captured everything from bedroom talk to medical information. So Apple's been sued over this. Amazon's been sued over this. Google's been sued over this because employees of these companies are actually paid to sit down and analyze all of these different voice clips that get sent to their side that are miscellaneous or whatever. And they've actually come out publicly and said, yeah, we catch all kinds of crazy stuff that you wouldn't imagine. Wasn't there a case a few years ago where they actually captured they used it as evidence in like a murder trial or something like that?
I don't know.
I think that
That'd
was
be weird, though.
I think that was a real thing.
I mean, how do you? I don't know how you enter that into evidence because, yeah. Anyway, we'll move on.
Anyway, all right. So 3 outsourced quality assurance teams review those clips. Here we go. This is exactly what we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It isn't just algorithms parsing your speech. Leaks in 2019 showed the contracted human graders were paid to listen to snippets flagged as hard for AI, juggling transcription accuracy and background context. Apple just settled a $95 million class action lawsuit over the practice, but still denies wrongdoing. Rather.
Denies wrongdoing. Yeah.
So they probably
Apple,
defy it also.
You did wrong.
So $95 million. Here's my problem with class action lawsuits. Nobody actually gets paid from a class action lawsuit. The only people making that $95 million is the lawyers. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll get these things that say, hey, claim you're this or opt out. And if you don't opt out and you don't claim the money, you're still set. You basically have agreed to not be able to sue the company direct. So if you ever get put with a class action lawsuit, don't sign up for it, get out of it, and then sue them directly.
Right, because also
if you were going to sign this, if you were to sign the paper for the class action lawsuit, it's not worth it. Get out of the class action lawsuit and sue the company direct.
Also, if you do sign up for it directly, chances are you're only at most going to get like $10. That's it.
Yeah,
because
if you sign up for the class action lawsuit,
like 90% of all those profits are going to the lawyers. The actual users of the product don't get anything.
Yeah.
So that's just a random rant against lawyers.
Yeah. Opt out of it. Opt out of it officially. Sue the company direct.
Right. And especially
because if they lose in the class action lawsuit,
that's what I was going to say.
It's going to be a hell of a lot easier to get a judgment in your favor for the direct lawsuit.
Because the lawsuit that they lost, you can actually take the evidence that was used in that trial and use it again to say, because there's precedent has been set to say this was damning evidence over there, it is also over here. So
or more importantly, you can settle out of court and not have to pay.
Right.
So if you just send a letter, usually that's all it's going to take especially after they've already settled a class action lawsuit.
That's it. So pay attention to those. You could make some money if you do it right. All right, number four, ultrasonic beacons your ears can't hear. This is a real thing. And this has been a thing for a long time. I actually dealt with this a lot at the Fortune 500 company I worked with. A growing number of apps quietly listen for a 18 to 20 kilohertz ultrasonic chirp embedded in TV ads, YouTube videos, and even store PA systems. When your phone hears the code, it confirms you're in front of a screen or inside a shop. Perfect intel for cross-device targeting. So this is actually something that we used at this other company a lot. At all of our retail locations, we had this. It was used for geo-targeting individuals. And also, whenever our ads would play on the TV, the phones would automatically hear this chirp and then start sending push notifications and put them into our funnel as far as digital placement as well. So they'd start seeing our ads everywhere as long as they saw the TV commercial first, and vice versa. Like your TV, your smart TVs, they'll also listen for a chirp coming from your phone or your laptop. It's amazing how many of these things are going back and forth between devices, and people have no idea.
If you opt out, so like I have LG TVs in the house. If you opt out from all that stuff, your TV doesn't function.
Right. Exactly.
You get you can use your TV for broadcast television.
Mm-hmm.
None of the smart features will actually function.
Right. They don't tell you that when you buy your TV.
No. And to be honest, if somebody was to come up with a little HDMI port app, basically like the Fire Stick or something like that, but in that kind of form factor that just plugged right in, and it got rid of all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys could be making money. This is why Wes says always have your IP guy on hand when David's around.
See, the only problem with it, what you're suggesting, David, is the FCC likely wouldn't approve it. But
They don't have a choice.
yeah, they do. What are you talking about? If you want to sell the product,
The
they do.
FCC wouldn't have a choice. The FCC wouldn't have a choice in this. It would meet all the regulations. They would have no reason to let it go.
I'll tell you
They
why
would
it
have no
wouldn't.
reason to block it.
I'll tell you why it wouldn't be approved. Because it's interfering with other communication channels. You can't create a device that deliberately sets out to interfere with other communication channels.
No. I'm saying let that thing be a similar to a Fire Stick.
Right.
So when you plug it in, you're just accessing HDMI 2 from your television, but
Oh.
now that device is now the smart device.
I see what you're saying.
But it doesn't have any of the tracking shit and nothing's in there.
Got it. My brain went completely the other direction. I thought you were talking about making a device that creates an audio
you can't do
jamming. I was going to say you can't do that. I've thought about it. You can make them. There's actually design specs online. You can make all this stuff yourself. You can't sell it, and legally you can't use it, but you can still make them.
Places like hotels, big hotels, got into massive trouble a number of years ago because they had devices installed that blocked cell phone service and Wi-Fi. Basically, your ability to get to the internet via your phone or using a hotspot from your phone. They had devices installed that blocked out those signals. The signals from the cell phone network, so that it forced you to buy their internet package through their Wi-Fi.
You can't do that.
They got hit hard with that. Similar to what you were thinking there.
Right, exactly. So a funny thing, I'm not even sure how this got approved. In my wildest dreams, I can't imagine how this got approved. Have you seen the device, the Flipper Zero? Have you seen those?
I've heard it. I don't think I might have seen one little blip of it, but refresh my memory.
So there's this little device called the Flipper Zero, and basically it can access, different radio bandwidths, cell bandwidths, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all this stuff. And, they claim it's for like legitimate purposes, for testing home networks and things like that. But like in all of their ads and everybody online, like is really showing what it's actually for. Like people are using this for like hardcore hacking. You can drive through a neighborhood, pick up every Wi-Fi signal. It'll automatically decrypt all the passwords for you. You can walk by a row of cars. It'll unlock, start, completely put security locks on all the cars. Do it whatever you want. Automatically does all this stuff. You can crack and hack into any Bluetooth device locally. I mean, it is a powerful, amazing hacking device that does all the stuff that we're just saying you can't do because the FCC won't approve it. Somehow this device is perfectly legal, so at least for now. I kind of want to get one just to play with it, but man, it's amazing. It's kind of cool.
I just want to get, so I can just sit and lock people's cars as they keep walking up to them, trying to unlock it, click, click, click.
See, I want to get it so when I go into like restaurants and stuff, I can like change the TV channels or like turn down the radio that's blasting in my ears for absolutely no reason. Thanks, roosters. Now I'm deaf.
Yeah. So for me up here, because we don't have roosters, but we've got Jersey Mike's, right?
Is it the same?
And the Jersey Mike's we go into is like you go in there, it's like a freaking nightclub. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
And terrible music. Bad music. So bad. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I went to Jersey Mike's. And because Nikki loves Jersey Mike's. So I took her over there and we had lunch here yesterday. And I walk in and I'm like, oh, the music's down kind of low and it's not terrible music. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's like I made the comment as I walked in. It's like, it's kind of nice walking here. This place is not a freaking dance club. Nice.
Yeah.
By the time we left, I was like, all right, I get the fuck out of here. It was back up playing, some whiny R&B crap. I was out.
Yeah. No. I get it. See, with one of these, you could change that.
Yeah. So I used to have a phone. I used to have a phone that had RF and a IR transmitter in it.
Oh yeah, IR. It does all the IR stuff too.
Yeah, and I was able to walk in like, oh, they got this brand TV, click, 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 done. And if they had something up too loud, I would just turn it the freak down. Or like, hey, we asked you 3 times to put the Buckeye game on, and here's the Buckeye game, click, done. And I love that phone.
Phone with IR. That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It was cool.
There you go. So yeah, RF and it does RF too, and RF is hard to come by, like really good RF readers and writers. So that's one of the things people are actually using it for, like in closed very tight conditions like subways or buses, stuff like that, people are actually using this to walk up behind other random people and copy their credit card
Yeah.
chips. So it's
That's why you get the wallets out there with the RFID blockers and stuff.
well, so my wallet and the inside of my hats I cover in tinfoil, so I don't have to worry about any of that.
That does not surprise me.
I don't do that, but I should. I've thought about it. All right. We're gonna fly through there's a couple more of these we're gonna fly through real quick so we can actually get to other stuff.
See what I said?
It's true. Number 5, advertising SDKs that piggyback on mic permissions. What does that even mean? Even an app doesn't advertise voice features. Even an app that doesn't advertise voice features, embedded third-party SDKs can harvest in ambient audio in the background to figure out what song is playing, whether kids are present, or which streaming service is on. Developers sometimes don't realize the full scope of the data the SDKs are gathering until regulators step in. So basically, a lot of apps, nobody reads the terms of service, but a lot of apps actually run continuously in the background. One of the things they have access to is the microphone. Now, they claim, a lot of these apps that do that, they claim that they're listening for certain triggers, certain information they can just use. But there's some creepy information they collect about you as well. Again, they're listening for kids' voices in some cases. They can advertise kids' products. They're listening for, this thing or that keyword or that keyword. That's a big one, keywords. Meaning they're always listening to your voice, and they're listening for these specific keywords and how they're used, the context in which they're used. And a lot of times, Dave, we've actually talked about this in our big data show. A lot of these data collection apps aren't using the data themselves. They're actually selling your data to data brokers. So that's actually how a lot of these free apps are making money. Guess what? If you see a really cool app and you don't see a product, you are the product. It's
we've made that observation many times.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what this means, but Keith Edwards says Will Howard.
Will Howard was the quarterback, and I believe he's now with Pittsburgh. I think he got drafted into Pittsburgh because apparently the football draft happened. And that tells you how, I have people that are like all full tilt sports. I can't do it. I got too much other stuff going on in my life. I will watch the Buckeyes 3 or 4 games through the season, some big games, and I'll watch them. This year, you better beat Michigan. And then when you go through the playoffs, I'll watch those big games. That's it. I cannot take a Saturday and a Sunday and a Thursday and a Monday. You can't do that. There's just too much time tied up in sports to watch other people do stuff instead of doing something myself. I can't do it. No, I'm out.
David, you've been hanging out with me too long. That's all I got to say.
I guess
you've been hanging out with me way too long.
I can't do it. I can't do it, man. I mean, you think about it. People get up early on football starts on Saturday at like noon or something, and they go all day. And then they get up the next day, and I think the kickoff for NFL starts at 1, and they go the whole day, and then they go to work on Monday. Then they come back for Monday Night Football. Then there's Thursday Night Football, and then I think certain college stuff starts on Thursday, and there's some stuff on Friday. Then you're back into Saturday. I mean, what do you get? A couple days off, and what's that for? Other sports? No.
Welcome to the dark side, David. Welcome to the dark side.
It's not even dark side. It's like, how the hell do you have that kind of time available? No, you have no ambition in your life. You have no drive for those people that are just like full tilt into this nonstop. Like nothing gets you going.
Look, I'm just glad that I'm not the only one actually saying this now. So I feel pretty. I
love
vindicated.
Sports. I love it. I love football. I like my Buckeyes. But they have their place, and their place does not override any aspect of my life. If the national title game was on and somebody was like, "Hey, Dave, you want to go to New York City and run amok?"
New York City?
Yes, I want to go to New York City. I want to run amok.
Hey, speaking of which, stay on the show after because I need to talk to you about something. You just reminded me. Yes.
Yeah. So those people, you know what? I'm gonna get the people that are on the field are gonna play exactly the same, whether I'm watching or not. But I could be running amok while they do that, and then if they win, I can be like, "Yeah," and celebrate some more.
Exactly.
That's just more amok.
You just enjoy the amok. He just
It's
enjoys
just
the
all
amok.
about the amok. It's all about the amok.
That's your next T-shirt. It's all about the amok.
I was just thinking, like, that's a hell of a T-shirt.
Theamok.com.
In fact, here we go. Here's another one. Get your IP guy standing by.
All right.
There needs to be a run series clear across the country that's just called
The amok.
The amok. What are we doing? We're running amok.
That's a good one. I like it.
And it has its own dedicated distance, not like the half marathons or anything. Its own dedicated distance of 16.7 feet or something. I don't know.
Because it's amok.
It's not very long.
You're running amok.
Because it's amok. You're just running amok. You own dedicated distance for it. And, I ran amok in the Tacoma, Washington or some shit. There you go.
I like it.
You
David,
guys, even you health nuts, I just gave you IP. Go get it.
David, buy amok.com. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be so freaking huge.
It's going to be huge. All right. Number 6.
Huge freaking guy.
This is a good one. Number 6. The gyroscope that moonlights as a microphone. People didn't think about that.
Stop.
In 2014, Stanford researchers showed that MEMS gyroscopes, no permission required on Android, by the way, can pick up air pressure vibrations from human speech and reconstruct keywords. Dubbed gyrophone, it actually has a name now, dubbed gyrophone, the attack lets simple game or flashlight apps eavesdrop without ever touching the mic. So, guess what? Apps that don't have microphone access, as long as they have gyroscope access, they can still listen to what you're saying.
There was a terrible movie called Eagle Eye.
With Shia LaBeouf.
It was terrible.
Yikes.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. And they walked into this some super high end computer, right? It's got the Flight of the Navigator head that goes around and looks for stuff.
I'm surprised they haven't redone that. That was a good one.
The Flight of the Navigator is great. But they're in this room where it can't hear, it can't see anything happen, or it can't see what they're saying, it can't read their lips or anything. But what it does is it looks at the vibrations in the coffee cup.
By the way, that's a real thing too.
So it is a real thing.
That is a real thing.
And if you happen to be staying in a hotel where a presidential candidate, president, or some other worthy person may be staying, they will disconnect the speakers that are in those rooms or where they're going to be, because the speaker can be converted
to a microphone
with some very simple math and a very simple wiring change, which I can show you how, into a microphone.
David is now going to be researched by the NSA.
I'm one of the people that got calls when they have to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's fine. So yeah.
So don't ask David too much. He will either be in huge amounts of trouble, or there are things that he could tell you, but he'd have to kill you afterward. All right. So the gyroscope is another way that these apps and the funny thing is all these things sound sci-fi or hypothetical. These are actual current use cases of these apps and devices.
Yeah.
It's actually
this
real.
Is not something that's coming. This is something that's already been around for a while.
Additionally, even in if you turn off security, tighten up the security on your phone to say that you don't want the phone company monitoring your microphone when the phone's turned off, things like that. Guess what? The accelerometer and gyroscope are always on. They don't require permissions, and they can still be used as microphones, because number 7 is accelerometer vibrations as speech side channel. Follow-up work has shown that even accelerometers, chips designed to detect shaking, register subtle case vibrations, if I could speak, when you talk. A 2020 study demonstrated that an app could identify a speaker's gender, extract word-level information via this route, again, with no special permission. Again, if it is possible, it's already being done. Guaranteed. 100%.
Yep.
So if you're ever wondering how these apps know everything about you, just because you had a random comment to a buddy at the bar last week, and you start seeing ads everywhere for this one random thing that you've never, ever shown any interest in before, this is why. Number 8 is accessibility sound recognition that never turns off. What does that even mean? Apple's sound recognition feature, iOS 14 and Plus, continuously monitor for doorbells, babies crying, smoke alarms, and dozens of other noises. Useful for hard of hearing, while Apple says analysis happens on device and detections are logged and can trigger notifications across iCloud-linked hardware. That's a running ledger of what sounds fill your home. Your phone's always on. You can't take the battery out of your iPhone, and even a lot of other devices now, you just can't take the battery out. It's always listening. And this proves it.
So
Apple actually admits to this.
Before I left the company that I left to come over here, one of the things I did was I moved us off of iPhone. I moved everybody to iPhones, and we had them for quite some time. And it was time for upgrades and time for changing. And I found a phone that had a removable and replaceable battery.
Mhm.
And I moved as many people as I could before I left over to that phone, so that. And we had some real nerdy people because we're a nerdy side type of group of people.
Sure.
That's how it is. And so there's some people who just they don't want that. They don't want people watching. They don't want anybody listening. And if they're not on call, the battery comes out.
That's it.
Battery's out.
And
now there are certain things, even with that battery out, the phone still does. But
yeah,
as far as all the listening stuff, all that stuff's gone.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it's Apple's admitting to it right now. This is another way that the microphone is always on, and it claims it's not listening for voices; it's listening for these different things that it can then push to other devices, specifically for people who are hard of hearing or have special needs, or can potentially alert emergency services in certain circumstances. But they're actually admitting it's always listening. So tell me that they're not using that data for purposes they're not supposed to. I know it sounds conspiracy theorish, and some people are going to laugh at me for even bringing that up, but it's a fact. If it can be done, it's being done.
I don't think anybody's going to laugh anymore. Maybe two people that still work for Apple that would be like, "Oh no, that's not how it works." And
that's 100% how it works.
Yeah, it's exact. And you tell me that the Eve's got this here. Hey, let's have a bite of this apple. She's just not going to eat that apple. No. You see the apple? The apple's got a bite taken out of it. All right.
Exactly. So number 9, the last one, nearby ultrasound tokens that reveal physical presence. Google's deprecated nearby messaging API used inaudible chirps to let phones discover each other within the same room. When your handset detects a token over near ultrasound, it pings to Google servers to see who else is nearby and what messages to pull. Even though the feature is winding down, the underlying principle, broadcasting and listening over ultrasonic audio for proximity, remains alive in newer frameworks. So,
yeah,
what basically
now we got all of our locations turned on, the Snapchats and everything and all that stuff. It has in the TikToks, it's got all that stuff in it.
All this stuff is always on. It always knows what else is nearby. Additionally, we've all seen, we've talked about on the show in the past, the fact that companies can now use Wi-Fi signals to literally make a 3D map of your room and all devices therein. That's a real thing. It sounds sci-fi, but that's a real thing. So even just a Wi-Fi signal that's broadcasting ambiently everywhere, they already know what's happening around you at all times, including voice vibrations. Wi-Fi can pick that up, believe it or not.
So in the movie The Dark Knight, man, it's been all about movies tonight. In the movie The Dark Knight, at the end of it, he's talking about turning every cell phone into a radar kind of thing, a sonar, to where you can triangulate positions and all this stuff. It
sounds sci-fi.
Exactly what it's not just. I mean, yeah, they put it in a movie, but there's nothing preventing them from turning this on all of us right now.
It sounds sci-fi, but it's totally 100% feasible and possible. And I'm telling you, like I said, if it's possible, they're doing it. All 9 of these ways that your phone can listen to you, specifically mostly to push ads to you. Most of the time, they don't care what you're talking about. They don't care about the dumb cat pictures you're sending to your Aunt Susie. But they want your information to sell you more stuff. That's what it breaks down to.
Pics.
They're not looking for pictures of random Asian guys. They're looking for ways that they can sell you this random thing that you got drunk and were talking to your buddy about the other day. That's it.
Yeah. To be honest, if there was an app that I said that I could just say, hey, I want you to record my conversations tonight because I'm going to get a little tipsy, and I come up with some really good stuff. I would probably just sign on for that.
David, it's already a thing. We need those AI pins. That's what we need.
Yes.
Speaking of which, we haven't heard a lot about those lately. We need to figure out what's going on with those.
I think they're all gone. I never got any updates.
I think that was maybe like a fad or something because they were everywhere for a while.
Yeah.
And now nobody's talking about them.
Well, I guess maybe they marketed them to the complete wrong crowd.
Right.
And everything that it did, your Apple Watch, your Samsung Watch, any other smartwatch or phone
could and should be doing already.
Could and do better. And we've got the glasses now.
Oh yeah.
The Ray-Bans, which I think I'm gonna buy a pair of them, but or buy a set, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna buy them because they do live translation.
Yeah. Well, if you get a pair, let me know. I've been curious about those. But honestly, that's what Apple should do. Apple should just bite the bullet, spend the money, buy OpenAI, incorporate OpenAI's ChatGPT into Siri to actually make Siri useful, because right now she sucks, and turn every Apple Watch into an actual smartwatch that has ChatGPT built into the dumb thing, so it can do everything, all of these things that Siri should have been doing all along. That would make all of these AI pins completely obsolete now, because it will do them better now from the beginning. So, David.
But I mean, there was a market for those AI pins. They
dropped the ball.
I'm going to use the word market correctly.
Yeah.
And they dropped the ball. They screwed the pooch.
They did.
That's the official business term of it. The pooch has been screwed.
The pooch is filing a police report right now for some very bad things happening. It's been screwed.
Yes. They messed that up so bad. There is a market that's ripe for something that has true intelligence to it, and it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard to do, and to change it over. Because have you been to the hospital or a doctor's office where they use I think it's like a Kyocera? So
I've seen them. Yeah.
Freaking how outdated this is. I mean, it's Kyocera. Right. And they've got all this, and they're like, hit this, and they're like, locate Dr. So-and-so.
Right.
And
they still use those.
Yeah, and they still use those when now you're touching stuff and everything, and you could just have a buzzword.
Right. That's it.
You could have a starter word.
Each individual nurse or doctor could have their own wake-up phrase.
Yep.
Individual, nurse so-and-so XYZ, contact Dr. So-and-so. That's it.
Yeah.
It'd be easy.
Hey, Frank, call Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz is
Dr. Oz.
On TV, I think.
All right.
But, yeah, you get the point.
Yeah.
It was there. It was there. And they just, man.
Look.
Just F that.
Apple needs to hire us as consultants. That's what needs to happen. That's all I got to say. We got to do it.
I mean, a lot of people need to hire us as consultants, but, whatever.
We'd be pretty great. Just have some bourbon. Let us go.
Yep.
David, I'm telling you, when my future company takes off, I already told you the role I have lined up for you.
We'll see how that works out.
All right. So next news item, if the lag can get past it. Here we go. So I'm not sure if you're aware that huge parts of Europe over the last few days had major power outages.
No, the Jen was watching the show earlier.
Yeah.
She's over there now. She texted me a thing just a little bit ago that's like, she was just talking about this. She's traveling over Spain or something like that.
Yeah.
And Spain? Anyway, so over there in Europe where these huge outages are happening.
Right. So Portugal, Brazil.
We all know what the cause is.
Well, and this is actually from the Telegraph. This isn't even from a U.S. paper. This is speculative. There are actually people saying now this is directly tied to Europe's net zero initiatives they're pushing on Portugal and Spain. So it's no coincidence that only a matter of a couple of weeks ago, Spain completely turned off most of their non-solar and wind-powered electricity grid. And this happens all of a sudden out of nowhere. Look, I'm not the only one saying it. This is actually a real legitimate news outlet saying this. So, let's not do politics.
Yeah, I mean, this is nothing political, but I mean, it's very impactful.
There should be a level of common sense involved.
Yeah.
You know, I think the green initiative's great. I think I think there's a lot of validity to
clean water, clean air.
There's
and
a lot of
place to
validity
live
to the
in-
concept.
Yeah.
But I think ideology is taking over common sense. And I think there needs to be a little bit of grounding of, look, guys, somebody needs to
Yeah.
step into the room with a big old, you know, stain on their t-shirt and ripped blue jeans and say, guys, come on.
An adult.
Yeah.
An adult needs to step in the room. Be like, all
Pull your
right,
shit together,
great.
guys.
Yeah. You're messing with people's lives who are just trying to make it through.
That's so Europe, good luck. I'm not sure what else I can say.
So, yeah, I mean, that's why I won't. So, you know, I planned on going to London. We were going to do London and Paris this year for our family vacation.
Yeah.
And I decided, no. I mean, they're arresting people over there for some very bullshit reasons.
Look, I'll say it. They're literally arresting people for prayer.
Yeah.
England. I would not go to England right now. I have friends there.
no
I
way.
lived there for a while. I would not go to England right now. Wouldn't do it.
No way. I was just like, nope, I'm out. I'm good. There is a conference that I almost got. I'm tempted to take a look at in Germany. I'm like, you know what? If they move this to Poland, I'll go.
I'd love to see Poland. I think Poland would be awesome. Let's do it. Let's do a show for Poland.
I'll go to Poland in a heartbeat. But I'm not going anywhere else over there right now.
I'm sure they celebrate Oktoberfest in Poland.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. With one eye behind them the whole time.
that was a terrible joke I shouldn't have told anyway. Let's move on before we get in trouble. This is a good one, Dave. You're gonna like this. This is actually a real competition. The Seagull Imitators
look at the head on
competition.
That house cat.
So the Seagull Imitators competition, where adults and children, there's an adult division and a children's division. They actually do seagull calls. This was a real thing.
That math adds up.
The meth adds up, or okay.
I said the math adds up.
I thought I was going to say the
CNN,
meth.
Like, the math adds up. Well, probably might be a little bit in there.
I was going to say the meth makes every bit as much sense. So let's see if this plays. The audio, we might have to make some audio adjustments. You know, where there's been some problems on this side. So let's play and let's hear the Seagull competitor best in shows here.
This is gonna be great. Oh, holy God! Hey,
competitors flocked to Belgium on Sunday to compete in the 5th European Goal Screeching Championship. The competition aims to rehabilitate the public image of the essential coastal birds, who are often seen as public nuisances.
People think seagulls are annoying.
I like the hats.
But in fact, they only take care of the little ones, and they are very protective.
That's not annoying at all.
Some people hate them. They see them like rats of the sea because they can pick open rubbish bags, because they screech a lot, they make a lot of noise. But the contrast is that they are an essential part of the seacoast, so you need to balance that. We need some more sympathy for the seagulls.
Sympathy for the seagulls, Dave. Oh, here we go.
To won first place.
First place.
I came from Denmark just to win the European Championship in seagull sounds. I practiced with tic-tac, and I practiced in front of the mirror and in front of the seagulls.
Oh, there we go. So they let those people around children. Let's see if it'll let me go back.
I mean, to be honest, if somebody says, "Hey, we got drunk one night, we thought this would be hilarious, and this is what we did," then I'm all for it. But I don't think we need seagull awareness. We know there are seagulls; they're making all kinds of freaking racket.
Well, we get to hear the racket now.
On the beach.
We get to hear the commercial. All right. No. No ads. Get out of here, ads. So no, there we go. Okay, we don't need to see the wangs. All right, let's move on. So, you all right, David? You okay?
Dude, the way you pulled that wang out so fast was
That's what she said.
Oh, man, it's all gone wrong.
It's this.
Man,
We might have
we're
to
gonna behave tonight.
We might have to delete this show.
Nah,
This is...
let it roll.
So the seagulls. I had to close the page because ads kept popping up. So the seagulls. That was. Are you still concerned that people are spending too much time on sports when things like that are actually happening?
You know what? Watch all the sports you want.
That lady came from Denmark just to compete.
No, she didn't come to compete. She came to win. She came to
win.
And
it's a highly competitive, it's a highly coveted competitive award.
Sure. I mean, it looked like there were at least 15 people there.
There were at least, I mean, and it was in the back room of Howard Johnson's, but people packed that back room, man.
Yeah, you gotta love the HJs, man.
The Hojos, they got it. They bring the seagull. The Hojos, they bring the seagull competitions. So that happened. That was a thing.
I mean, to be honest, okay, I completely disagree with their idea of we need to. Was it more sympathy for the seagulls?
Sympathy for the seagulls, because people love seagulls.
We don't need sympathy. It's not like they're not like a freaking endangered species here, lady, or man, whoever it was. I don't even remember who said that. It was so stupid that I don't even remember. No. But if somebody said we got drunk one night and we were like, we're going to make our friends all sound like seagulls and we're going to have a competition for it, then I'm 100% behind that.
You know, that's exactly how that competition got started. One night, a couple of drunk idiots were sitting around saying, "Oh, I can totally sound like a seagull." Okay, no, you can't, dude. You can't do that.
Well, they were out drinking,
bro.
And
I totally can.
Started making noise, and one of them started making the noise back, and the other one was like, "That's pretty good. You should enter a competition." And
totally
here we go.
Actually, it was Steven Seagal and Jason Segel. They were sitting around together having drinks, and they had decided who would be the best seagull. And they said, "Look," Steven was like, "Hey, I'm the best seagull." And Jason was like, "I'm the best seagull."
There's only one way to figure this out.
Yeah, that's.
There's only one way.
That's how it happened. All right, let's move on. It's getting weird.
There can only be one.
There can only be one. That's the next Highlander reboot.
Yes, the Highlander. I think they came out with a reboot with the show. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
It is. So the film series is being rebooted, and the rumor is they're going to have Henry Cavill as.
Dude, the rumor is Henry Cavill's doing everything right now.
Right, because he's Henry Cavill. I mean, if you're Henry Cavill,
he's a nerd too, which is awesome.
That's my point. He's actually he's pretty politically, he's pretty based. On top of that, he's a nerd. He's like an actual gamer, not like a fake gamer. Yeah. He's a legitimate gamer, a board gamer, by the way.
What's the Warhammer, the Warhander, or
the Warhammer,
whatever?
Yeah, Warhammer 40K. So he's actually
like that.
The Warhammer 40K. He's a legitimate board gamer, not just a video gamer. Like this guy paints the little tiny figures and has little pewter figures everywhere. Like he's
when we did a show, I was at my brother's house down in Georgia, and I had that. I mean,
the devil went down there. Yeah.
Well, he lost his fiddle to some hillbilly, but I mean, I've never played a game. I have no idea. If somebody was like, "Hey, Dave, you want to play?" I'm like, no. No. Henry Cavill calls me and says, "Hey, Dave, you want to play?" I'm like, no. Like, I'll come and drink and cheer you guys on and make seagull sounds in the background, but that's it.
That's awesome. So when my company really takes off, that's what we're going to pay you to do, David. You're literally just, your job is going to sit in the background and drink and make seagull noises.
All right.
So we all feel like we're at the beach.
I am putting that on my resume.
Professional seagull.
Make seagull noises while drunk.
Look, I'm putting philosopher on mine, so why not?
Philosopher.
All right.
I might do that to mine too.
It's pretty cool. Why not?
I'm going to put stoic.
Prove I'm not a philosopher. You can be a stoic
ambassador.
Philosopher. Stoic philosopher.
I'm gonna stoic ambassador.
Stoic ambassador. Ambassador to what? Stoicism?
It doesn't matter. It's stoicism. That's right.
Fair enough. I like it.
Ambassador de stoicism. And they're looking at you like, "Oh, that's awesome." What's that mean? I don't know.
So after the last news article, I read this one, and I really got my hopes up. The title is "First Ever Black Hole Bomb Created in the Lab." I really got excited for this, and I hoped it was true. A black hole bomb, an idea first proposed in 1969, has now been released in a lab as a toy model. And then my heart sank. I was like, I was really hoping for something that would destroy the whole solar system. It turns out it's just a toy that simulates the property of what a black hole bomb could and should do. David, I thought this is something you might be interested in. Physics.
It is,
or physicists.
because I have the black hole cosmogenesis theory, the Leffingwell black hole cosmogenesis theory, and I would love to see the collapse of a actual black hole.
Right.
I understand what they're saying here, but we will never have enough technology to create a black hole big enough to actually do damage. So let's just put that aside.
Well, David, there is that new force of the universe that can create propulsion.
The recently discovered
new force of the universe.
Yeah.
So physicists have built the first ever black hole bomb, a long theorized phenomenon where energy is boosted by a black hole and trapped by surrounding mirrors until an explosion occurs. Thankfully, this version is just made of just a safe toy rather than using a real black hole. I don't think they would. Yeah,
on shelves this Christmas season, the black hole bomb.
But the physical principles are identical. Not identical. I think identical should be in quotes. Studying it could help reresearchers better understand how
China?
Real black holes spin. This is from newscientists.com. Newscientist.com. Let's see who wrote this. Alex Wilkins, which I think is a pseudonym for ChatGPT.
Oh, it does. It probably probably. That is actually yes. It does undoubted it.
So anyway, apparently you can buy a black hole bomb toy. You can't actually buy a real black hole bomb yet.
So I do want to see, and I've been having trouble trying to find somebody to, we've created a couple of microscopic black holes, but I really need to get some raw data from them. And just nobody in my core circle is like, hey,
reach out to CERN.
Some black holes today.
Reach out to
so
CERN.
I just need to expand my circle. I need to expand my circle. Yeah, I need to go to CERN. Is what I need to do.
Reach out to CERN. We could do a show from CERN, from the LHC, the LHC, because I'm cool enough I can actually say that. We can do a show from the LHC, maybe inside the LHC, and get you the data you need.
That would be awesome.
To prove the Leffingwell principle of black hole cosmogenesis. Yeah. There's on the tip of my tongue. So close.
That's how it functions. That's how it works. Because right now, the focus is on supermassive black holes, or not supermassive black holes. It's a new term I came up with called ultramassive black holes, and the use of ultramassive black holes. But I am starting to think, based upon what I'm finding when I'm going through all the data, is that this could actually be done possibly out of any black hole. So I'm not going to go into what the implications of that are on here, because we do not have the time for that. And I haven't drank quite enough just to share it randomly.
Yeah.
So yeah, look for it.
Okay. See, my theory of the universe is slightly different than yours. Mine is that there is no future or past. There's only the present. And black holes happen to be think of it like chunks in the dough that didn't get thoroughly blended up properly, so it's not so space isn't equally distributed. But that's a different conversation altogether.
The dry powdery flour.
Well, so
chunks of dry powdery flour.
So space-time as a substrate isn't equally distributed in that there are more dense areas, there are less dense areas. The more dense areas tend to contract into super gravitational singularities. The less dense areas tend to be just that, less dense, more vacuous, much like whoever this Alex Wilkinson is, with his clickbait headline that really got me excited for an actual black hole bomb. Yeah.
Created in a lab, but nothing like that actually happened.
But it didn't actually happen, and it's not actually a real thing. But it did happen, but not really. So, last news item was, this is from neurosciencenews.com. Why do our minds suddenly go blank? And I forgot where I was going with this. So let's get on with the main topic.
I want to know.
I completely forgot where I was going with this. I don't.
This happens. Well, so when you're faced with the silence, and you turn away, it goes blank, and you got to reboot for a moment. But I don't understand. Other than the silence, I don't understand how it functions.
Huh?
why do we go blanks? This is a Doctor Who reference.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this does happen. Like this happened. I mean, it happens to me quite a bit, and I think it's sometimes the brain is just processing so damn fast. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny. So do you know Douglas Adams, right? He wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So
I just watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy the other day, and Nikki's like, "What?"
So he wrote another book
called
The Meaning of Lith, where it's a whole dictionary about things that didn't currently have a word. So he created a word for them. Only all of the words he used were the random, crazy sounding names of British towns. And he's like, these different British towns, I mean, they don't have meanings. They're just random sounds that some, thought of, 1,000 years ago. So he took these British names of towns and gave them like words, gave them meanings for things that didn't have words before. Like this one reminds me of Woking. Woking was what he said. It's actually a name of a British town, by the way. He said that is when you walk into the kitchen and forget why you went in there. That phenomena that happens is now called woking.
Yes. Woking.
So it reminded me of this when I thought of that. You got to get the book, The Meaning of Lith, from Douglas Adams. It's really cool. It's funny.
So does it answer the question of why our minds go blank sometimes?
Oh, I thought you were going to say life, the universe, and everything. Now I'm thinking of Douglas Adams. You know what? It starts to, and then it just kind of wanders off into nowhere. I don't know. I literally didn't even read the whole thing.
To be honest, if it did that would just make it the perfect article.
Right? If it just randomly just rambled off, and like at the end he's like, "I have to go get some cookies now. I don't know. I'm out."
Yeah.
It just stopped like mid sentence. So let's see key facts. Frequent phenomena. People experience mind blanking about 5 to 20% of the time. That's some of us more than others. I can speak from experience.
Yes.
Psychological clues. It's associated with a decreased heart rate, slower brainwaves, and local sleep states. I don't know about local sleep states, but I do have an exceptionally low heart rate, like abnormally low heart rate, and I'm willing to bet I probably have pretty slow brainwaves. Clinical relevance. Mind blanking appears to be anxiety, ADHD, brain injury, and sleep disorders. I think I have all 4 of those, actually. That explains a lot. That explains a whole lot.
Yeah, those are all great things right there.
Yeah, I don't have anxiety. I should have more anxiety. I'm pretty sure I have the other 3 though.
So my poor wife who has to live with me. First of all,
I've often said that
she has the anxieties, and I have to remind her from time to time, like, I cannot understand what you're going through. I understand that you are going through it, but there's no anxiety in my life. There's nothing. It doesn't exist to me. So I have no clue when people say, "I'm so anxious about this." I'm like, I don't even know what that means. I have no clue what you're talking about. Like, I'm sometimes, like, when I had to make the decision of like taking this job, was literally the last time I felt anything that was close to what people describe as anxiety. But it was just a decision to me. It was like, all right, I'm gonna take this road that I'm already on, or am I gonna take this new path?
Yeah.
And the moment I made that decision, done.
Well, see, so look, I'm not casting stones. I'm just saying, in that scenario, I wouldn't have used that as an excuse for potential anxiety, because your choices were a pretty darn good current life or an upgrade to that pretty darn current life. Oh, which one am I going to choose? Oh no, I have so much anxiety. Like, that wasn't necessarily a great analogy.
But that's the closest I can get.
So David, on the flip side of that, I am going through some pretty significant things that are causing and should cause more anxiety than they currently are. So when you talk about your level of baby pool anxiety, it makes me giggle inside and say, Sweet summer child.
That's what it is me admitting. I really have no idea. Like when she's talking about it, she's like, oh, it's the anxiety. I'm like, I really just don't understand what you're talking about.
Sweet summer child and your anxiety.
Here's the way you solve it. Here's the way you solve it. Right here. I'm gonna solve anxiety for everybody.
All right.
If you can do something about it, do it. If you can't do anything about it, stop worrying about it. Done. And that's just how I function.
That's a really healthy way to look at it.
There's nothing I can.
Yeah.
If there's nothing I can do about it, I'm not wasting a minute worried about it. I'm out. Gone. What'll be.
That's a healthy way to look at it.
I'll deal with the ramifications of it, or the implications, or the fallout, or the success. I'll deal with those when they come along. Done. But if I can do something about it, I'm not gonna say like, oh man, I really should. I'm gonna go do what I need to do about it and move on. It's a decision to make. It's an action to take. Or it's hey, there's absolutely nothing I can do to influence this, and I live my life.
Right.
Done.
That's a healthy way to look at it. By the way, speaking of not worrying about things, Keith might be dropping out. He says, love you guys. Happy birthday, brother. David, it's a little late for your birthday.
Is it close to your birthday?
It's not close. Not even close to my birthday.
Yours in what, August?
Mine's in July.
July, that's what I said.
It's close to August. Yeah. July's right next to August. So it's happy birthday to you too, Keith. Good.
Happy birthday, Keith.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Maybe
he was reminding us that it's his birthday.
Let's see if he just messed up and meant to put that in a text message.
Fair enough. Anyway, I forgot what we were talking about. Something about minds blanking out. I don't know.
Something about minds breaking out. Yes. All
right. But we've been going for like an hour and a half.
Well, we got an hour and a half in. We just got through with the news.
You're right. We really tend to we just do a whole show just on the news.
Well, so that when we get into the ones that have the 9 things, the 10 things,
I know you think I would know better.
And to be honest, it doesn't matter whether it's 3 things or whether it's 9 things. We're still going to take the same amount of time.
It still takes an hour.
That's just how it works.
Fair. You think I would know better by now? Like that should be its own show.
Yeah. So I mean, there are some nights that the news is just so damn good. We just like, all right, friggin', we're going to roll with this.
We've done a few of those.
Yeah. But the topic tonight's too damn important to pass off. So we've got to grow into it.
It's one that and the last couple shows, they're ones that I'm directly dealing with, and that's what brings it to my attention at least. So this is one that I thought was pretty relevant to some stuff I'm dealing with. If I could even speak, I swear I can't speak today. So the title is Only 10% of Startups Survive. 10% of all startups survive. Here's what they did different. So data showing that 70 to 90%, so of course I went the high end because it's more clickbait, 70 to 90% of startups fail. In other words, about out of every 10 businesses that start, 7 to 9 of them are going to drop out. Yeah. And they're gone. And they're going to die a fiery death.
So at best you get 3. At worst you get 1 company that moves on.
Exactly. So what is that 10%? What is that 30 to 10% doing differently that the others didn't? So I broke it down. I think I have the answers. So we can run through those real quick. We don't have to spend another hour on them, but we totally could. But man, it's amazing to think. And here's one of the things I'm pretty optimistic about is the last really big economic dip was 2008. And we did shows on this. Look at the companies that came out of 2008.
Yep.
Right now, there are companies that are starting that are going to be massive, that are going to change so much of the landscape. Within 10 years from now, you can't imagine a life without them. It's going to be, and it sounds like weird to say that. It sounds even weirder for somebody who's not like in that world to conceptualize that because things are being built right now we can't even think about except for those few people who are working on it.
Yeah. Uber. When was Uber founded?
2009-ish. It was right around that 2008 dip.
But it was in that dip. There. And I got to tell you, if you guys knew my Uber bill, if you all knew my Uber bill, you would be like, what the hell? My Uber bill is ridiculous.
What was that? So they actually made a series of the guys who started Uber. It was had Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it, and
Really?
yeah, it was what was that? And this, I have to look it up. And it was actually pretty good. It was about
send it over to me because I want to watch it.
Uber.
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard about it, I was like, I want nothing to do with this. I want nothing to do with this. I want nothing to do with this. And I got to tell you, I might be one of their top freaking customers.
Right. Okay,
like
here it is.
Individuals.
All right. It's called Super Pumped.
Super pumped.
Super Pumped.
I'm super pumped.
It's about the biggest douchebag in the world, the founder of Uber, and all of the really shitty things he did to start this company and keep it going. Like, it really makes him out to be one of the worst humans alive. It has Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the lead, and it's actually a really good series. It's only 7 episodes long. It's on Netflix. I recommend it. Super pumped.
Okay, all right. I need something to watch, something new to watch. So yeah, I'll get into that and take a peek.
It's a good one.
But yeah, I mean that came out of the dip. That came out of the dip. There's the what do we call it? I'll call it the 70s and 80s stockbroker advice: buy low, sell high. You buy the dip, and
that's it.
When you're in a downturn and you have I don't want to take any because I actually read the agenda today, but when there's a problem to be solved, and you have an opportunity to do that, don't look at it and go, "Oh, we're in economic tensions or economic tight." That's when millionaires and billionaires are born.
That's it. That's exactly it. I mean, there are so many billionaires right now because of 2008, because of that dip.
Yeah.
And right now,
we're in kind of a dip.
It's not. Look, and the funny thing is, if you look at the stock market over time since 2008, it's been a steady incline. But given like recent times, we're in a dip. We're in that low time when people are insecure about the economy. There are wars and rumors of wars. Like, it seems like end times. But guess what? 10 years from now, there will be brand new billionaires.
The beacons of dawn to our lit.
Cats and dogs are sleeping together. It's a whole thing.
You're right. This man has no penis.
Hey, now that's hearsay.
You went with Ghostbusters. In the same quote there, so I figured I would go with the Ghostbusters.
It's a
quotes
classic
as well.
It's a classic. I don't remember Melissa McCarthy saying that line, but I hear it was good. So anyway, it's a weird set of tangents.
Yeah, man, we were all over the place tonight.
But anyway, 10%, 30 at best, 10% more realistically, of all startups succeed. The rest just fall by the wayside. All right, so I think I broke down the 4 core elements that you need to embrace in order to be part of that 10% that can survive. And if you can hit these, you can absolutely make your company survive. So they're not just going to range from, these 4 marketing tips or these 4 product development tips. No, these are core principles that you must embrace in order to succeed. And we're going to break it down right now. So number one is
let the hate flow through you.
We have that. We have that in spades. Number one should always be your number one. This should always be your number one, is define a clear purpose, right? Before a single product or is built or a single dollar is spent, a clear reason for your company needs to exist and be defined. It must go deeper than making money. Okay, why are you doing so? Simon Sinek, I love Simon Sinek's stuff. He's a business guru kind of guy, business philosophy kind of guy. He could put philosopher on his resume. But he has this big thing that he always talks about. He's pretty known for it. You need to define your why. Whether it's on a personal level, whether it's on a business level, why? Why are you doing this? It needs to be more than just making money. The most resilient businesses start with a mission rooted in solving a specific problem or an urgent problem. So your why, your purpose, needs to be to solve a specific problem, meet a specific need. you can't just think, oh, I'm going to make a business because I want to make $1 million. That's nice. That's a great goal, but that's a goal. That's not a purpose.
And there's 15 million freaking YouTube channels that 15 million is actually going light. I'm gonna go 100 million YouTube channels
exactly
that tried to make money, and they're in that 70 to 90%.
Because your purpose can also be a decision-making tool that your company uses, that you use to define hiring, marketing, all of the decisions that come into founding your business can come from that purpose. Oh, my purpose is to create this great new thing that fills this gap in the market. Nobody else is doing this. What problem does it solve? It solves X, Y, and Z problems. This is our goal. This is our purpose, to fill this need in the market. And that's going to then define how you do all of these other things. So we have a couple questions that you should ask that can help you find that purpose. One, what problem is being solved? That should always be number one. If you're not solving a problem that's 100 other things are already doing this, then why are you doing it, right? What problem is being solved?
So there was so I've got to amend that, because we've said this before on the show that you don't necessarily have to be first to the market.
Well, that's true. We can always, that's true. You don't have to be the first.
You don't have to be the first to the market. So there was a thing that, and here's get your IP guy ready. I was talking about with Mike, my buddy Mike from Goalie Dads, about balancing the temperatures in our house and talking about the grills and events. And I'm like, you know what, it would be very hard to do this and do a mesh network and build this thing up.
Mm-hmm.
And we started digging into it, and there's a couple people out there that have a few things, and I'm like, yeah, but if we do it this way,
right,
just because we're not the first to the market, it doesn't mean, because guess what? We didn't know it existed.
Yeah, right. But
which means, guess what? That company sucks, and there's room in the industry to actually take it over.
Well, you're right. So you're right. You're absolutely right. You don't need to be first.
Of course I'm right.
But you need to do it better. If you're not first, you got to do it better. And if you can't,
first, you're last.
If you can't do it better, right, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, you gotta have a thing there, and we're never a fan. We are, it's specifically us, never a fan of the race to the bottom. If you are looking at, I can do it cheaper than them, then we're not the guys that you want to hire.
Well, and
we're going to tell you to pound sand.
Never be a race to the bottom, because in a race to the bottom, everybody loses.
Everybody loses.
That's it. You're never gonna undercut Amazon or Walmart or China on prices. You're not. Even with the tariffs in place, guess what? You're not gonna undercut China in prices. You just can't. Unless you can do it. If it's a niche that's already been filled, unless you can do it better, you shouldn't be doing it. But if you can find a niche that's empty, that's rare, that's a unicorn, that can be your purpose. So number one was, what problem is being solved? Number two, why does the problem matter right now, right? Maybe it's a problem that you anticipate being an issue later down the road. Is anybody else going to buy into it now? Maybe you're ahead of your time. Maybe that's something you can start developing now and put out later. Maybe it's something that is a problem, but it's almost an obsolete problem that was a more lucrative problem 10 years ago, but nobody's really going to pay for now. Like, you don't want to invent a machine that rewinds all your VHS tapes really fast for no reason. Like, who's that helping? You know what I mean? But at the same time,
I was thinking of fax machine, but then you went the Be Kind Rewind route, and I think that was much better.
That's all I could think of. So, and then number three is, who is affected by this problem not being solved? That's one thing a lot of people don't think about. Okay, if this problem isn't solved, what could be the ramifications? So that's one. So with my current thing that I'm developing, that's one thing that's always on my mind.
Dogs and cats living together. Now it's time for that. God.
So
we jumped the gun.
You jumped the gun. I was going to put it in a much more crude way that is not family friendly.
It was premature. It was a premature ejaculation.
Oh, but I'm bummed. That's bad. Yeah. Hey, Facebook, have fun translating that.
Have fun transcribing that
one. So if you don't solve the problem, how is that? What are the ramifications for your potential users? And that's one thing that's on my mind with the thing that I'm currently developing. So that can also shape how you go about doing things. Is, man, look, this thing is in a vacuum. It doesn't currently exist, and if it continues not to exist, these problems are gonna just build up and build up and build up over time for these other people. And what that can do is it can shape how you develop the product. It can shape how you develop, how you speak to your customer avatar. It can develop how you actually, it can help change how you actually make the product itself to better fill the need in the market for that type of product. So those are the three questions you need to ask yourself to really define what your purpose is. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to be part of that rare 10% of companies that can actually succeed? Number two, you need to solve a real problem. This kind of builds off the last one, right? So it sounds the same, but here's why it's different. Too many companies are built on just clever ideas that nobody actually needs, right? You have this neat idea for this thing that you could 3D print or you could make cheaply, and it's kind of cool, and you're really excited about it. The market is completely indifferent to novelty. If it doesn't solve a real problem or solve a pain point in someone's life, nobody really cares. It's neat, and you'll probably sell some, but you'll never really take off, and it's never really going to be profitable. You know, there's a website that I used to love, and it's not there anymore. It was thinkgeek.com. Remember that one, David?
Oh, I do know ThinkGeek. Is it gone now? Oh my God, is it gone?
So it's still technically there, but it sells random products from some other Chinese company. It's not nearly what it was. Somebody else owns the URL. It's not what it used to be. But ThinkGeek, they used to sell all kinds of random nerd stuff that was just super cool. And if you're a nerdy and you just love random sciencey things or nerdy stuff, that's where you went for that stuff. But guess what? It wasn't filling a real need. It wasn't really hitting a pain point, solving a frequent problem, right? It was cool stuff, and it was stuff whoever invented that stuff was super excited about because they put a lot of work into it. But it didn't really solve a need. It wasn't filling a pain point. And all of those products, almost all of them, probably went under completely. In fact, the whole website is owned by probably China right now, selling random knickknacks.
I was trying to pull it up, and I couldn't even find a website. They got a Facebook page.
Yeah, there. Exactly. That's it. So that's what you really need to do is, like, go back to number one, define your purpose, and then build off of that to solve a real, actual problem. Because if you don't do that, you're never going to have great buy-in. Even if you have a super cool product that you really love, you're excited about, you're going to have a certain niche of people who are going to be like, yeah, that's really cool, that's awesome. Maybe 10% of those people might buy your product because it's a novelty, but you're never going to take off. So you need to solve a real problem.
So at the mall that's nearest me, which we only have one mall here, which is terrible because it's all the malls, like it's the mall that's getting ready to go out of business.
Yeah, but people don't really go to a mall anymore unless you want a tattoo or a piercing. Nobody really goes to malls anymore.
So they don't do tattoos and piercings there. Actually, there might be a piercing place, but there's no tattoos. Actually, there might be. I don't even know. But we're talking about geek stuff, right? So they've got the cards and the little, what's the pop heads?
Oh, the something pop.
Funko Pop?
Funko Pop.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those, that kind of brick and brack and those things, I bet there's 4 or 5 stores. They're all exactly the same.
Right
there. I mean, there's no reason to have 4 or 5. By the time Christmas comes, they'll be back down to 3, or there'll be 2 or 3 new ones that come in, replacing ones that went out of business because the market's not there. It's just not enough business to support having that many there. And whoever's managing the mall, you suck.
If you imagine most mall managers,
I just really wanted to take a good look at the camera and tell the people managing that mall they suck.
I have to imagine most mall managers probably suck right now. So
yeah,
it's not a good time to be a mall manager.
There's ways to do it. There's ways to do it, and people are just failing left and right. Like if somebody's like, "Hey, Dave, I want you to come and put this mall back on the straight and narrow," I got you.
You and I could do
easy.
You and I.
This is easy. This is easy, man. Yeah. This is not even a thing, man. I could bring Lazarus back from the dead right now and build your business. This is not complicated.
David's single-handedly going to bring back J.C. Penney.
Saving J.C. Penney would not be very hard. Saving J.C. Penney would be one of the easier tasks.
Actually, whoever owns J.C. Penney right now, contact David and I. We will bring back your whole business.
Your whole business. It's not complicated. You just got to make sure you get the right people out of your business. It's more important, I think, to get the right people out of your business at this point in our life, in our world, than it is to anything else. Is get the right people out of your business,
or bring the right people, or a combination of get the right people out, bring the right people in.
If you've got us, you've already got the right people. We'll find the rest.
David, I don't know if you meant that as a caveat into the next point here, but it works perfectly. Delegate strategically. Delegate strategically. Yes. I don't know if you if you use your strategery to bring that in, but
strategery said that if you hired us, we got it. You've delegated that task to us. We are going to take it forward. I'm a huge fan of delegation. I love it.
Same.
It's one of the main things I do. I love delegating because I'm going to find a person that's engaged. I'm going to find a person that's empowered with that. And when you get that person that's in their wheelhouse and it's in their stuff and playing to their strengths, I've got you're strong with this, and you have all right.
Bring it home.
We gotta stop.
Bring it home.
We gotta bring it home. If you ever do a review with a company and your manager's talking to you like you're strong here, 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 and here, but I'm gonna put you in 12 weeks of training to shore up these weaknesses, leave your job. That whoever you're working for is a fucking idiot.
I have no comment. Okay.
David. Just a fucking idiot. I can hire somebody to take care of your weaknesses, but if I have you focus on your strengths, then I'm going to double down over here and I've got somebody that can supplement. I'm not going to do that. So just don't work for those idiots. It's very important. Don't work for those idiots.
Oh, that's hilarious. But number 3, delegate strategically. The myth of the lone genius founder is just a myth. That's it. I'm telling you, it's a great myth and it's a nice story, but that's just all it is. Effective delegation isn't simply assigning tasks. It's about building a system where decisions and responsibilities are distributed intentionally. And that's it, intentionally. The smartest leaders outsource their weaknesses and double down on their strengths. So this is...
I'm sorry. Did I not just freaking say that?
You literally just said that. It's almost like you read the agenda.
Said that.
So this is one that I've struggled with in the past. And I think we all have at one point or another. Because, let's say you're working in a really big company. A really high-profile part of a company. And you're dealing with a boss who has no idea what you do. And it's frustrating. It hurts. It hurts you in your soul because they're saying these things and you're like, that's not how any of this works. Why am I working for you if you don't know how I'm doing what I'm doing? And David, you yourself have told me that's not their job. Their job is not to know your job. Their job is to make sure that you know your job and you are doing your job. You've told me these things, and it really hit home when you said that, and it really sunk in. And it's true. Now that I'm in that role, it sits different when you're that guy that you have to look somebody in the eye who you're their boss, and the thing you hired them to do, for a fact they're infinitely better than you at this thing. And you look at them and say, you know what? You might as well be working magic right now. I don't know how exactly you're doing what you're doing, but I love it. I love what you're doing. Just do it this thing. Do this thing over here. It's hard bringing yourself to that level of being that guy.
There's a level of understanding that you need to have, not just of yourself, but kind of the people that are around you.
It's a very sobering and self-awareness journey that you need to take to be able to do that, and to be able to realize that guess what? Your boss isn't there to know your job. If your boss knew your job, he would do your job. She would do your job.
Yeah.
Your boss hired you because you're good at your job. And hopefully you are good at your job so you can keep that job and keep doing it.
That's right. And it's a big deal. And that was one of the conversations that, Wes, it was one of the first corrective conversations I think you and I ever had.
Yeah.
When one of us was
that.
doing something and it was finally, I was like, Wes, their job is to not know their job is not to know your job. Their job is to know that you know your job and that you are executing your job properly. They've got a whole list of other things that they've got to do. And now you're the guy, you've got a laundry list of stuff you got to do. And once you've delegated something out, you need to be assured that that's the person. So you've selected appropriately thus far that I've seen this person, that person, and so on, and make great decisions. That all allows you to take that off your hat, gone, and now you're over here.
Mm-hmm.
You're over here doing what you do, and I think it has worked out very well for you in your scenario. And to be honest, it's going to work out for everybody in every scenario.
It will,
if you follow that basic thought process. Delegating is going to be a huge part of who you need to be, not who you are sometimes, but who you need to be.
Right. And the funny thing is so I've actually been on the other side of that too. So, back before I left that Fortune 500 company, I hired some, a couple people onto my team who were younger, and this was like their big break into like a big company. And there you go. Good choice. The H. Taylor.
We're gonna finish up the night with E.H. Taylor.
There you go. Always a good choice. And the funny thing is like these couple people that I hired to do these couple things, my director was like, you know what? They're not my top choice, but you know what? I trust you to your, if you like them, go ahead and hire them. They're not my first choice, but do what you got to do. And I hired these couple people, and they were great at their job. They were really good, and they were so green. I remember one of the guys, like, he would literally, we're in a professional, really, Fortune 500 company, very, very professional situation. He would ask me, like, if he could go use the restroom. And at one point, I literally told him, I was like, dude, I don't care. You do whatever you got to do. As long as you do these things, I don't care what you, just go do your, I don't want to know, And after a while, you could see, like, the attitudes changing, like, one of the people happened more than the other one, but they got a little spoiled, and they started to like get a little bit high on their own, little big heads, a little higher in their own supply.
As it happens.
And one of the guys, after a while, he got pretty high on himself, and he started doing some shit talking, and it gets back around to you as the team leader, as the boss, and I never said anything, I never did anything about it, but you then internalize it on a different level, like, oh wow, I'm now the boss who he thinks I don't know how to do his job.
Yeah. I don't know how to do his job.
And then occasionally I would really reinforce the fact that I actually do really, really, really know your job much better than you think I do. But I don't have to. That's the thing. I hired you specifically so you could do these things. So I don't have to, because I have more important stuff to do.
You have other important stuff.
Other important. Bigger picture things, right? So not more important things, but bigger picture things. You know,
big picture things.
The higher you up,
hand to granular work, I've got to take that up and roll it into the big picture.
The higher you are up in an organization, the bigger picture view you have, and that's what it breaks down to. So delegate strategically. Again, I'm going to repeat this one because it's super important. The smartest leaders outsource their weaknesses and double down on their strengths. There are certain things that I just can't do. I could do if I really, really wanted to just dedicate the time to it. But to save time, guess what? I hired somebody to develop this part of the product. I hired a team to develop this part of the product. You know what? It cost me a pretty penny, but it saves me X amount of time, which I can then use that time to get this product on the market and actually start pulling in more revenue. So it's a trade-off. I could do certain things myself, but it's worth more of my time to hire somebody to do it. Delegate strategically.
I can't champion that message any louder than I already do.
Well, I'm not going to get into your business, but you're going to be doing a lot of that very soon.
Good possibility.
Well, more of that very soon, rather.
More of that very soon. I mean, I already delegate most of my work to everybody anyway.
It's okay. Your boss doesn't watch the show.
She did. I mean, or if he did, she did. I don't know who I report to now. So, but if they did, yeah, sure.
But I'm not getting into your business. But I mean, you're off to doing much more grand things than you currently are. So that's pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, what I was doing, I mean, it was a lot. I basically just sank myself with a workload.
You do that.
It does that, but it's fun. But I love it, so it's good because it's what I do. Somebody's putting all kinds of stuff up. Is Matt Harmon watching?
We're getting a lot of hearts.
I've seen a lot of hearts and smiley faces and stuff.
It's my mom. She felt guilty about that frowny face.
So who's out there? Drop your name in the comment box there so we can see who all's watching.
David needs more wang pics.
Seems how Keith went to bed already.
Number four. Number four is...
All right, number four.
Number four, the last one. Build and refine systems early. It sounds boring. It sounds boring. Systems, right? That can mean a lot of things. Let's break that down. Every business begins with a messy experiment. But the ones that survive don't stay there. Growth doesn't fix broken systems, it exposes them. So this is actually all about as your company grows, as you're developing, right? Startups often don't die from lack of customers, but from the internal chaos that growth reveals. As companies grow, guess what? Broken systems. If you have inefficiencies in your company, the bigger you grow, the faster you grow, those are going to just accentuate more and more and more exponentially the faster you grow and over time. Success requires operational discipline and scalable processes. Again, sounds super boring, so I'm going to break this down into 2 core points. 1, systemize what works. Find things that work. Find things that really build the way that your company likes to do things, whether it's a product or a service. Find a system that works and grow from that. And then ruthlessly, I put that in there deliberately, ruthlessly eliminate what doesn't. If you find inefficiencies in the way your company does things, whether it's the software you're using, whether it's the communication channels your company uses, whether it's, are you
using the word inefficiency just to fuck with me?
I should have used effectiveness. But efficiencies matter too.
There you go.
You can't completely eliminate efficiencies when it comes to processes.
I'm saying if you are properly effective, you are effectively efficient.
I agree with that, but when you're talking about processes, not necessarily. Now you can still go the same way. You can say effectiveness trumps efficiencies, but when you're talking about processes, specifically efficiencies, I think still technically applies.
It's one of those buzzwords, folks. For me, especially, is efficiency. The moment I hear efficiency, I automatically deduct 250 IQ points from the speaker.
Right.
It's just the way it works.
Here's a difference. Let me give you a specific example of a difference. Okay. Let's say I have a team of employees, right? And this team of employees is reporting to me on just different random things. Days they need off. Updates on this sales channel they have, right? And since I'm really good at Excel, I require all of my team, my employees, to report to me using Excel format, because I can just bring that into a spreadsheet. I'm good to go. For me, I'm
not experienced with that at all.
For me, it's the most effective process. Right? However, is that the most efficient? Well, right? Because just because something's effective doesn't necessarily make it efficient. Now, the two aren't mutually exclusive. I think each one can be used to the most effective purpose, and it can also be misused. But I think as long as you keep them within the proper perspective, efficiency and effective can be the yin and the yang of making it all work together.
Nope. I'm going to stick with my assertion that anybody that puts efficiency first,
I didn't say
you're
first.
going to lose market share.
I didn't say
you're
first.
going to lose market share. There's no reason to use the term efficiency. There's no reason to put that as a marker, because if you are properly effective, you should be inherently efficient.
That's true, and it doesn't go the other way. I get that.
Yeah,
I get that, and I totally agree that it doesn't go the other way.
It's a buzzword for me, guys. I mean, it really is a button pusher for me, because
I should have known that when I was writing this. I apologize.
Yeah. I seen that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get his ass.
That son of a bitch.
This son of a bitch. Nah. So yeah, because I deal with a lot of people, and I was working with a guy a couple years ago or last year, a couple years ago. I don't remember. And he's like, several levels ahead of me, up above me. He's gone now. So I guess not.
He wasn't very effective.
Yeah. Well, the problem was he was trying to, he's getting coffee. I'm getting water because I'm not a coffee drinker. And we're down in Atlanta at the BA headquarters. And I'm like, all right, cool. Boom. And, he talked about something. And I'm like, and he said something about efficiency. I was like, well, I don't worry about efficiency. He's like, you should. That's how you get paid. I'm like, no, it's not. I get paid on being effective. And I stopped this guy dead in his tracks.
I get it.
Dead in his tracks. And he looked at me and he looked up and was like, holy shit. Like, no, I don't get paid to be efficient. I get paid to be effective.
I get it.
Efficiency is built into that.
Yeah.
But if I'm just trying to be efficient, that means I'm going to score myself on metrics that don't matter, which people do. And guess what? I'm efficient, but I was not effective, and I lose what we like to call is market share. No, and it's a dangerous world to get into.
You're 100% right. Look, effectiveness is inherently efficient. Efficiency is not inherently effective.
No,
I get it.
Exactly.
I get it.
Exactly.
But you also can't throw away
But you can't say the word efficiency and not get me on that tangent.
But, baby and bathwater, there's something to be said there. So
yeah. Don't derail the whole train because of a speed bump or something. I don't know, something like that. But throwing out the baby with the bathwater and yeah.
But these are the 4 core principles of being the 10% of businesses that succeed. Number 1 was define a clear purpose. Number 2 is solve a real problem. Number 3 was delegate strategically. And number 4 was build and refine systems early. Because if you're not being effective in your systems, then you will inherently be inefficient and ineffective and ultimately fail. So that if you follow those 4 things, guess what? You will succeed. I'll tell you why. Because if you have a purpose...
That was excellent wording.
If you have a purpose and you solve a problem, that's number 1 and number 2. If you have a purpose and you solve a problem, you have a successful product. You have customers built in. If you can delegate strategically and you can build and refine systems early, guess what? You have an effective and efficient business. And those 2 things right there combine to success. You have 2008 all over again. You're Uber. You're succeeding. Just don't do what the founder of Uber did. I forget his name. Go see Super Pumped for that answer. And you will be successful. These 4 things are honestly, I did a lot of research on what I'm currently doing. And I think these 4 things are core.
Yeah. What you're doing, and luckily I have a good insight into what you're working with. I mean, to be fair, if I didn't have anything involved at all, I'd still have a good insight in what you're doing over there.
Yeah.
And you got into you got a unicorn. You got a unicorn, and you're following some of these principles.
You can find an empty niche, that is a unicorn. That's it.
And for everybody out there, the word is niche. I had a person talk to me today and say niche, and I almost cracked. I've come to learn not to
just
correct people on
across
that.
The face.
But it's niche. It's niche. And I believe it goes back into Greek terminology for niches and
Wait,
whatnot.
you know what they
So,
say?
yeah.
Niches get the beaches.
That's right.
Niches get the stitches.
Niches get your stitches, but niches, we get the beaches. All right. I don't think my wife's watching anymore. I can say stupid stuff now.
That's bad. That's not a, that's it's. I want it to be a t-shirt, but at the same time, I really don't want it to be a t-shirt.
So I don't know how this happened to my algorithm, but I've got a day whatever of making unwearable t-shirts.
I don't know how that happened, David.
You've got to go to Facebook, and you got to look up unwearable t-shirts videos.
Unwearable t-shirts. I didn't
oh
know
my
this was a
Lord.
thing. Is this like people at Walmart?
Oh my, no. He creates t-shirts that are effectively unwearable. You couldn't wear them out. You would get, somebody's going to throw something at you, or you're going to get shot.
Okay. Is it, I'm just picturing a t-shirt with like the N-word.
No, but
they don't go that far.
Not quite, but it gets better than that actually.
Oh,
because it's more subtle.
Who's this?
It's slightly more subtle.
Who's this? Kanye West?
No. But it is. They are hilarious. I love them. All of them. I'm looking at like I'd wear that.
I'm literally just seeing how things are transcribing on
I'd
Facebook, and it actually transcribed inward with a question mark, and then Kanye West. Yeah. All right.
So anybody who's deaf is like, oh my God, he actually said that?
Wait, what?
Wait. Say what?
Say what? Yeah, transcribe that Facebook.
Oh, that's all right. We were talking about dongs and wangs and stuff earlier. I mean, it's had a heyday with this one.
You know, before we went live, we actually talked about keeping it kind of low key today, but didn't happen.
Low key and more PC.
Yeah,
and they were like $750 dong.
They were like
$750 dong.
They were like,
you got $750? You'll get 10. I give you change.
Bourbon, show me your dong pics.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, it wasn't the bourbon that got me started on that, but is the joke of me randomly sending people pictures of I'll pick up like, hey, Asian, or I'll just say person with last name Wang. They don't have to be Asian. They could be somebody who looks like me. Doesn't matter. And I'll be like, I'll literally just at random just send a friend that picture. I'm like, oh, you've been hit with a random Wang pic.
That's pretty funny.
That is the kind of shit I do.
I believe that.
Just because, and everybody gets a kick out of it. It's funny. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's absolutely hilarious. And to be fair, if it hurted, my West Virginian. There he goes. My West Virginian slipping out again. If it did hurt somebody, it's still funny. Maybe slightly bit more. Maybe a slight bit more funny, actually.
Oh boy! All right. Well, look, that was the main topic today. That was the only 10% of startups survive. Here's what they do differently. So, if you want the main unadulterated, just main topic, go to torchdynamic.com. Torchdynamic.com. You can find all of our show notes as a blog and get all the info there. But look, this is actually information I'm using with my business here. This is gold. This is actually going to get you to succeed where 90% of other people are going to fail.
I'm going to take this a step further. Mm-hmm. And if you are getting into management, if you are getting into a leadership role, there are some skills out of this, especially that delegation part of it and understanding what that means, that are valuable as well. So it's not just to the person who's trying to start their own business or trying to do a startup.
If you're in corporate life.
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
All the things we talk about in all our episodes, it seems very narrow, very niche. It seems like, if you're a startup or you're a business or you're in marketing or you're in sales, it applies directly to this one thing. If you look at all the stuff we talk about on every one of our episodes and you apply that to, I'm working at a Fortune 500 company, I'm working at, mom and pop shop down the street, you can apply these things and you can still succeed. You can be starting out bottom of the rung in a marketing team of, Joe Blow business of local, Podunk Town, USA. You apply the things we're talking about, you will grow within those ranks because you are that much further ahead. you can apply this to a random team role at this other company. You can apply these same things to these other areas of life. It's, some of these things that I talk about as when I'm making these agendas are just things that I am dealing with my family, with my kids. Guess what? If you're a dad, if you're a mom, you're a team leader. Believe it or not, you're a team leader. And if you're not an effective team leader, you're going to grow up having shitty kids. Your kids are going to grow up being shitty.
Yep.
It's just how it is.
My kids are awesome, by the way.
Your kids are exceptional.
My kids are freaking awesome.
They actually I've always liked your kids.
Penny
is kind of a hooligan.
There's a point. Yeah, she is a soccer hooligan. There's a point, especially in a dad's life who has a son, where it stops being about you.
Yeah. It's
all about them.
That's it.
It's like you don't judge your success by you judge your success by them. And, as a guy who's been in leadership for years and years and years and years and years, I don't judge my success as a leader in business by what I do.
Yeah.
I look to see this guy I hired. I said he's gonna be great at this.
Yeah.
Is he doing great at that? Yes. This guy I promoted over here. Is he doing that? Is one of these people somebody that could challenge me for my role? And that, to be honest, is exactly what I want.
That's it. That's exactly it. So
I want one of my disciples to take my head, period.
Look, I don't know if you've read Oedipus, but who
hasn't read Oedipus?
Who hasn't read Oedipus? So the idea, we're going to do away with the mother aspect of Oedipus. That's a whole different. That's a whole different problem. That's a whole different problem. But the idea is becoming better than your father and defeating him in battle and taking his place and being better than him in general.
And an apprentice who does not seek to outdo his master is a failure. Who said it? Who said it? That's a direct quote.
Oh boy. It sounds Asian.
It's a paraphrase.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go paraphrase quote because I'm not sure if it's exactly those words, but that's the architecture of it.
It sounds Asian. And the only two, I'm not even looking at you because I don't want any hints or clues. The only two Asian philosophers / strategists, I invented that word, that I know would be Sun Tzu and Confucius. It sounds more Confucian than Sun Tzu-y. I'm going to say Confucius.
Okay, so I would say this person probably had some influence from Confucius, from Confucian, but it's actually a quote from Leonardo da Vinci.
I did not know. I would not have guessed that. It sounds Asian.
Yes, and that is a direct quote. A direct paraphrase quote, if that's a fucking thing.
Paraphrase quote.
Direct paraphrase. Because I'm not sure. I don't have the words in front of me, but the architecture of the statement is there. The gist of it is there. And that is, a poor disciple is one who does not seek to outdo his master.
I get it. Okay.
Actually, I think that's actually the words.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, and that's it. And that's what we all want. We want to find that person who is better than us. And sometimes we're not going to find somebody who's better at us at all of that we do. That's the delegation part of it. I mean, it's finding those people.
Sure.
And,
I get it.
That's when you go back to, having the kids and the sons and whatnot, at one point, at a certain point in our lives, we're like, we're out. Tag, you're up, bud.
That's it.
It's your show now. I'm going to sit back and mow grass and bitch people get off my lawn.
That's the dream. We really want to get to that where we have no real responsibilities aside from just yelling at random kids running on our grass.
Yeah. Damn it, kids, you probably got dandelion seeds on your sneakers.
Right? I just want to sit on my on my front porch, smoking a pipe, and drinking a bourbon. And if I happen to have any neighbors, which I don't want any neighbors, just yell at any random kids that happen to run by for no real reason.
Slow down, son.
You're running too fast, you son of a gun.
Back in my day, we only took 3 steps per minute.
You got to sprain an ankle. What's your problem?
Yeah, man, I'll sit out on that porch with you. Oh, I've been Dave. He's been Wes. This is the Underdog Journey. Best of luck.
We will catch. Yeah, good luck. We will see you guys next time.
Have a good one. Have a good week. We'll see you guys next week. We don't have a clue what's going to happen next week because we snuck through a Skype call today, but odds
Skype
are it
should
won't be here
technically
next
be
week.
gone by now. So next week, Skype will definitely be non-existent, and we'll figure it out. We'll make it happen one way or another. We'll be here next Thursday, 8 p.m. Or later. We'll let you know on Facebook and
Sorry,
or
that
YouTube.
was my fault.
It's fine. We'll talk to you later. Out.
Basically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I bring it to your city or your hometown. I go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt cool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. The neighborhood, I felt cool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.